streaming now.
That button needs some sound effects. Fuck.
Hitting the button. I think we're live. And yes, just to answer any questions preemptively, I am sick. On top of all of the stupid shit that's happened to me over the past week. So we do want to thank you guys for joining us live. You are absolutely fantastic, fucking fantastic people. Thanks for joining us once again. Let me hit this button here and mute this. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I feel like I'm doing this for the first time. We only missed a week, but I put out so little stuff over the past week and a half because I basically crawled out from underneath a dumpster an hour ago. So we want to introduce the panel, give some shout outs. Thanks to fantastic people that have showed up to support the show. You are what powers this thing. And again, we're just glad to be back, man. Honestly, I mean that. So, Cold Eastwood, man, it's good to hear from you again. We've talked a couple times, but now we're doing it live. Fuck it, let's do it live. How have you been?
Like we're really we're actually the show is on like right now, like it's the real thing.
No, this is pre-recorded. The power went out.
Okay, cool. So I can say all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It's really good to be back. The panel was super excited to talk last week. So all of the news from then is like all backfilled and ready for tonight. So I'm really excited, really, because even more has happened. So yeah,
absolutely, yes. We got a ton of, so much stuff. And two, of all times for all this stuff to happen, right? It would be when Microsoft are like, and they'd fucking reveal their next-gen console, right? So this is kind of like one of the hub areas for all that stuff, and I'm dead. And, people come to the show to hear a lot of this stuff. And by the way, this is Man of Medan footage in the background. Hopefully these motherfuckers don't be like, like Activision last week and come in and claim the damn show and put 50,000 ads on the fucking show. So, again, Man of Medan footage. It's this is me and my girl actually playing it, and this is from several weeks ago. I'm glad I had this stored up because I ain't been able to play really anything over the past week. It felt like shit. D-Batch, what's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Good to see you're up and alive. Fuck. I gotta say, last week everybody was anticipating the show. Like people were losing their minds, and they were a little bit disappointed that we didn't.
Trust
have a show.
me, I know.
But so much news has dropped since then, so this show is definitely going to make up for last week's show. I can't wait to get into this topic.
Yeah, and for those that don't follow us on Twitter, I had the creator of the Xbox, the god of Xbox, Seamus Blackley, was going to come onto the show, right? I had him tagged in the post and everything. I'm like, hey, Seamus, what's going on? And talking to him behind the scenes and getting everything ready, and boom, power goes out. So, it's about 10 p.m. I'm waiting for the power to come. Nope, so I just pass out. And poor Seamus, he said he's somewhere, he's got something planned this week, but I'll have him on for sure going forward. I'm also talking to Bill Stillwell, behind the scenes, xCloud guy. He wants to come out, I think, next month, January, and then we've got some other people. And by the way, I noticed Ricari left a big comment on last podcast we had. Ricari from Inside Xbox, we had on the last show. If you haven't, so he kind of explained his statements about gamescom and stuff in the comments if you haven't checked that out. So, again, Seamus Blackley, the creator of Xbox, he's going to be on. It'll be in the next couple weeks, maybe. I told him to hit up a few weeks, so just so you guys know. Fonzarelli, good to have you on, sir.
Hey, I just want to get to all the topics that we've got because, honestly, I'm a man of power when it comes to these consoles, and I want to talk about that tower of power.
King Long, Goddess of War looks great. Thanks, King Long. I don't get it. Oh, I think I do get it. And then, of course, Gamebred, who says shout out to Dealer for, of course, putting on the show. And yeah, I am sick, man. But thank you so much, man. I do appreciate it. This ain't the first time I've soldiered on. And of course, a new channel member, Shadow Rager, Ravager. Ravager. Zucker, speaking of little fucking bitch, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, how you doing? And I'm gonna be everybody. I'm gonna tell you what really happened last week. So last week, a bunch of Sony fans went to dealer and he went outside his house and they ripped out all his cables, everything. So he lost power. This week we were ready. We have Lethal Pop outside there with a slingshot. We got everybody ready. All right, this is what we had to do. No, I'm joking. Everybody. I'm joking. No, it's good to be back.
The Sony fans went and hunted down your PSN profile, saw you beat Uncharted on easy.
They're like, this guy. I'm like, wrong one, dumbass. And then they showed them the real one. They're like, well, you're fuck off. It's all right. But it's all right. No, I'm just joking, everybody. Come on, we're all friendly here. But it's good to be back, man. I missed the chat. Honestly, you guys are awesome, and it's good to talk to everybody again.
Yeah, I'm being a little, I don't know. I guess I'm already saying a lot of bad words, man. I'm gonna apologize.
I know, dude. Relax.
Anybody out there knitting and shit? You got a cat on your lap? I apologize. Hey.
Why don't you ask me if I'm offended?
Hey, xCloud Tim Dog, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, happy to be here, man. Big week. A lot of stuff we're gonna talk about. There's been about, I would say, 10 days of good Xbox news, and we're going to be here to go over it and, relive it. So I'm really excited for the show.
Time to hand out the L's, somebody in the chat says. Thank you so much. We've got a ton of great topics, man. I've also got a ton of great patrons. Even when I'm down and out, I'm sick, I'm dying, I got malaria in the corner, you guys still help kind of support the content and stuff like that. I might be a little slow right now, but I'm coming back. I'm just trying to focus on getting better. I had my girl run and get me a Red Bull for this damn show so I could even make this happen. So I got to give a shout out to my patrons. The shout out to Johnny Virtuous, Born Object. We've also got Teo, John Blue, Darth Chaos, Prython, The Bad Boy Live, Vec Boss, Deviator X, Obi-Wan FTW, thank you so much. One of the fantastic moderators, along with Lethal Pop-Up, Tasteless Genie, Scout Trooper 74, Centurion 1307, Real Deal Neil, Suicide King, Michael Bowen, Guillermo Cabillo, and Chanagram, Wimmy Hood, Fork Boy Gaming, thank you so much, sir. And of course, Alfonso Hogan, A Squad Gaming, Slim 73, Mo Cool Kid, thank you guys so much for what you do. And honestly, that list may have changed a little bit. I had to go and update. I've just been dead here lately, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I'll be sure to make sure that's updated here soon, but I think it's there. And again, thank you guys so much. If you remember last show we had with Ricari, we did a sponsored giveaway from Extreme Rate, and basically they said, hey, I said, I just want to get my listeners some free stuff, and I managed to do that. Again, didn't get anything from them, didn't get paid, didn't get shit myself. They did offer to send some stuff, but I'm just not into it. So basically, I chose two winners, and these two people get to choose two of whatever the hell they want from Extreme Rate Store. I've sent these people to them in a DM, and they should be reaching out to you on YouTube, I do believe. You can still message people on YouTube, correct? Colt, do you know? Anybody know?
I don't think you can.
Okay, well, fuck me. I'll find a different way, I guess. So, so basically,
a lot of cussing going on over here.
I know, right? It's weird. I guess you guys forgot how the show works. So, Smitty Smith, you are winner number one. You get two of whatever you want from the Amazon link. And then None of Your Business, you are winner number two. You get two of whatever you want from the Amazon link. And thank you guys. That's just two people, the hundreds of comments. I couldn't even count them all because I can't count past six. But thank you guys so much for doing what you do.
Neither can Xbox, apparently, when they try to make console
I know,
games.
they're like, which one are we on? We're definitely not on Xbox 5. That would be stupid.
I think we're on the first one.
Cool. Yeah, that Xbox 5 didn't. Anyway, let's talk about a few big changes there at Sony real quick, all right? While we let some more people file in, I do got to give a shout out, and I know it's a long-ass intro, but hey, it's overdue. I think we can all agree it's overdue. It's been a minute. We've already got almost 700 people watching live. Before we get in the first topic, thank you guys for rocking out. And let's try to get past 300 likes from the end of the show, 1,000 after the fact. And, of course, share this out for us. Help us grow. And, hey, thanks for doing what you do. Let's talk about Sony bringing some games to Xbox here. MLB The Show confirmed xCloud Tim Dog to be coming to multiple platforms starting 2021. They say, hey, you can bring your baseball game to Xbox and Nintendo Switch and the Nokia N-Gage, of course. How do you feel about that?
I was totally floored by that. One of my asks for Xbox was always a baseball game. I'm a big baseball fan, so when that news dropped, for me, that was like, I could not believe. I was in a state of shock. I was like, nah, this can't be. And I'm reading the tweets, and I'm like I'm just looking at them twice, and so. regardless of the politics behind it, it's a very good thing that Xbox is getting this long overdue. And I think it's one of the things that was it was something that you could look at Xbox and say, well, it doesn't have an baseball game. I don't understand. And it's a little notch against Xbox, where now it's a checkpoint for Xbox that they finally have the baseball on the system. So huge news, and very, very welcome news.
I mean, seriously, it's the one reason my brother has a PlayStation 4 right now, because MLB The Show. I don't know anybody else got a similar experience here. There's not really been a baseball game on any other platform in quite some time. All right.
No. I know that because baseball, it's very like the game, like it's very niche. Not a lot of people go crazy for it. So that was one of the things, right? That people said, oh, maybe Xbox should make a studio and try to get a license. And it was always like, that was kind of the debate, right? I don't know. Is it worth that? I don't think the money's there. But now it's like fuck it. It's all right, cool. A Sony studio is going to make it, and it's going to become an Xbox. Perfect. Sounds great. And if people thought that it was going to stay on Sony for a long time, like I had a feeling it wasn't. Like you look at FIFA, Madden, all the like every sport, NBA, like every sport has on multiple consoles. It's just baseball that wasn't. And it's like, of course, MLB saw the money and was like, hey, dude, either we're going to take this shit from you. EA will definitely sign with us, or something will happen, and you're going to lose this contract, and the studio's going to have shit to do. So that's the way I looked at it. And so it was just a matter of time, just waiting for that contract to end. And I think Xbox knew that. I think Microsoft kind of knew that. Like, I think that's why they didn't like try to chase it. They're just kind of like, we'll wait and see what happens.
So, I mean, is it that they had to sign multiple platforms, or is it that they just said, we're going to go ahead and do it?
I think MLB wanted it to go on multiple platforms. And then they basically were going to take it away from the studio that Sony has for that. And what else are they going to do? Those people are specialized in making, what I guess is the best baseball game out, right?
Do we know that, or is that just speculation?
I mean, I don't understand why Sony would put it on.
I mean, look at all the other stuff they're starting to do though too. I mean, they're starting to they've just rehired and put out another post for, hey, we want our games on all devices. I mean, they want their stuff to kind of branch out some.
Tim, you could speak on licensing, right?
What'd you say, Colt?
You could speak on it's a licensing thing. The license got too expensive, and maybe they want to go.
Think they just weren't making enough because Tim, we've heard behind the scenes that they're not really making too much money in MLB The Show. It's a very expensive license to hold. Do you think that Sony are like, look, it's come to the point where we can publish this thing on multiple platforms and rake it in from publishing, or we can let the license go because right now we're just not making enough?
To be honest, I think it was one of those things where Major League Baseball has kind of a little bit of leverage because, like Zorker said, they have a studio that specializes in that. And they do a great job in it. And, if you take away the license, nobody's going to play the game just to play, even if it was the best graphics. People want the baseball names. So I think that they presented it, and they probably sweetened the deal, because I've heard, from good sources that they weren't making money on the deal previously because it was so expensive. So they had a situation where they had one game on one platform and it was barely recouping the license. What it was giving giving PlayStation was an exclusive game, and pretty much that was it. So I think they looked at it, and MLB presented it. I've also heard that Xbox and others pushed for it, so they were getting pressure probably from all areas, and they were just like, you know what, it makes sense to just put it on the other platforms. It probably would cost them less money to do it that way, because now Major League Baseball is going to get 3 more platforms. They're going to get PC, Nintendo, and Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So the price comes down, and it becomes more of a deal that they can take. So I think that's where it came. If you asked me a year ago if this would happen, I would say no way. But things change in this business, and
it is crazy, isn't it? Like the day we kind of woke up to this news, we're like, whoa, what the hell? I mean, Yosemite says kind of the same thing. Hey, a little bit of pressure here or there. Take this deal, reach out, expand your horizons a little bit, or get in a bidding war with 2K and EA. I would, that's probably pretty accurate. Guess what, Tim? They're going to make more money now, which is the reason Sony is a thing. All companies exist to make money than they would if they would have just kept it on PlayStation.
100%.
Well, the big thing for me is, and I think what people were basically yelling, like I saw people on Twitter losing their freaking minds, like, I'm done with Sony, I'm out of here. If this is what it's like. I'm quitting everything. It's like, all right, dude, relax.
Is this why? Is this why you game, dude? Go to the gym,
dude. Yeah, get a dumbbell. Bitch.
Like you only game because somebody else can't play it. Like it's such an exclusive club that only 100 million other people have the damn box, right?
Yeah, but the big thing is that it's a Sony first party studio making it, and they're making an Xbox game. Like they are. A Sony first party studio is going to be making something for the Xbox gamer.
Oh man, I was told by this community that would never happen. That they would never publish a game on Xbox.
Mm.
I mean, it's going to be kind of weird to see the Sony thing come up right when you launch your Xbox and you're playing MLB, right? Like it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Zucker, we got a pretty good super chat here from S Vitaman. You want to read that out?
Yeah, I got you. Let me get it up. I've been an X fan since the OG days. I've seen the ups and downs of every console gen. What happened at the Game Awards was short of amazing. Seeing the entire gaming world celebrate Xbox was something I haven't seen in a long time. Hard work paying off. Spider-Man coming in with a big 50.
Yeah, man.
Boss.
Michael Monkey Punch, man, what's going on, brother? I chilled with him for like several hours while he plays Star Wars not too long ago. He says, great show and amazing panel dealer. Thank you so much, sir. Do appreciate it, brother. Go ahead, Fonz.
I got a question for you. For the panel, actually, have we seen a PS5 game revealed yet? Or
Godfall, which by the way, has pretty much all been confirmed that it's coming to Xbox a year later.
Really? And it's coming. Isn't it coming on PC the same day?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like, all right, it's fine. It's not exclusive. Got it.
Okay, yeah. And we've also seen Hellblade 2 for the Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Halo Infinite.
Okay, so
and Everwild.
To answer your question, that's 1-to-1 there for the PS5 and the Xbox, and we've got hundreds.
Well, we got Halo Infinite as well.
Oh, Halo Infinite as well.
And Halo Infinite as well, and plus thousands
Everwild
coming along. All the backward compat games, they're all there. All your Xbox One games will be there. So what are you talking about? Xbox has no games.
Yeah,
Fonz, bring the mic closer to your mouth if you can, buddy.
Series X should launch with somewhere around 3,500 games day one, by the way. Showan. Sorry, my bad. Showan. He says MLB watching NBA 2K and Madden makes money. Want in on it? Yes, sir. They do.
If you look at the top games of MLB, it's always the sports games. It's like Madden. It's 2K. It's usually the sports games. Now, with it being on Xbox, PC, of course, the PlayStation, they're gonna make a shit ton of money, man. Straight up, like Sony gamers should be happy about this because Sony's gonna have more money to invest into other games. Like, come on, it's a good thing.
Yeah. They probably could. And two, the show is arguably the best baseball game of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's always said that. No one's ever had anything negative to say about it except for, hey, you probably shouldn't rag on Forza too much when you're bragging about the show. They both come out every year or whatever. Even though Forza's kind of taking some time off to revamp, stuff like that.
Also, MLB the show, the graphics always been like ultra realistic, especially the last few years. Like, it's fucking amazing. Now imagine that game, how it's gonna look on PC and the next generation consoles. I'm fucking pumped, actually.
I mean, think about the way that this gen's games looked compared to, in 2013 or even 2012 compared to how they look now, right? I mean, Godfall, somebody mentioned in the chat, I didn't know it was a PS5 game until I was told. It is targeting double the frame rate of what it probably would have on this gen, which is it's 60 FPS target. But keep in mind that these are cross-gen, and these things will continue to look insane as time goes. There's so much overhead and potential in Series X, Cold Eastwood. We're going to get into all that. I can't wait. There's so much good stuff there.
I just want to say real quick, Godfall, a lot of people, they probably skimmed over, but it actually had ray tracing.
So Gearbox made it, right? Here's the weird thing about Godfall. It could be like Anthem, which I know people don't love, but it's sold like crazy. It is made by Gearbox, who their best game is Borderlands 1 and 2 and kind of 3. And Battleborn. Mm-hmm, and Aliens
boss
Colonial
from
Marines.
Borderlands 3, Colt. Thanks for bringing that up again.
Yeah, I know. So Godfall looks cool. Like it looks like I mean, it's like your looter, shooter / melee. It's obviously going to be better than Battleborn and Aliens Colonial Marines, and hopefully as good as Borderlands 3. We'll see. Gearbox doesn't have like the best track record outside of Borderlands. I hope they kick butt on that game, and I hope it looks and plays well.
What do you think about Godfall though? Like from what you've seen?
Well, I mean, it just looks like another Anthem style game or another Division type game, which sells like really. Those type of games sell really well, but they haven't been a big. They haven't delivered this generation those type of games, and I may be wrong on some of them, but like I know a lot of people like the Division 1 and 2. I don't. I didn't enjoy them. Anthem, no, I didn't like Anthem, but
what's that?
I hope Godfall's different.
What's that free to play one that's kind of like that? It reminds
Warframe.
Warframe. That's what it reminds me of.
I'm doing some microphone adjusting behind this. So is it?
I
think I've got my
James
Fonz
said-
is really low.
Yeah, let
Fonz
me
is really
turn
low.
Fonz
I
up
thought-
here.
I
King
think you
James
bring-
says that Godfall was not made by Gearbox; it's just published by them. It's made by Counterpoint Games.
Oh, good to know, King James.
Oh, that's good to know. Then that's a lot better.
Yeah.
Rash.
Man, maybe you should be on
Their
it. Fuck,
new
you can have
studio.
the show. Come on
that's
here. You can
right.
take
Yeah,
my
that's
spot.
right. They were the new studio name under Gearbox. I remember that from watching the show now.
Okay, well, nevertheless, MLB The Show coming to Xbox. Very interesting at the very least, and I just pulled up iTunes for some reason.
And it's in 2 years, right? Just to
Yeah,
be sure, like, it's not
2021.
coming
I
next
think
year.
2021 is when all that kicks off. And Beaner in the super chat says, I was in bed next to my wife when I saw the announcement for Series X. I bet you fucking shit your pants. He says I turned over and basically gave her all my okay. He's saying some things that I just am not gonna repeat right now, Beaner, and I want to thank you so much for your support and good luck with all the teraflopping in the future. ASQD in the super chat as well.
And the ramming.
Again, I'll always pimp out A Squad's channel, man. He's got a fantastic content. He says I'm late, but let's do it. Yeah, Yo Colt. I got the lowdown on the. Okay, yeah, he's
On the DeLorean. Yeah, the other day, A Squad and I were talking on Twitter about the Xbox Series X, and I said I wish I could fast forward to next year to get this console, and we were both joking we were going to grab a DeLorean, so he got a hold of one, and we're going to go into the future and play the new console.
Wiener says shoulders back, gut out. Uncle Phil walked out on the stage with the swag and slammed the bitch with the table. All right, Beaner, you're pushing the limits here, buddy. Hey, I do got to give a shout out to almost 1,100 people watching already, guys. Thank you so much for what you do. Hit that like button. Let's try to smash. Oh, fuck. Let me look.
Yeah.
We probably already. We already smashed 300. Fuck it. Let's go for 400 for the end of the show.
Wait, let Tim yell out 1,000 viewers or something like.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Jesus.
Wow. I'm sorry. Tim goes ham. Like you
He
tell
didn't
Tim
even
to yell.
hesitate. It scared the shit out of me.
We
No
have an
consideration for
1100
your eardrums whatsoever. Yeah. He said, "Fuck everybody listening." Just yells right
Well,
in your
we
ear.
have-
Tim
we
said
have-
it. Tim told me today if we get to 1,300 viewers live, he'll buy me the Xbox Series X. So
Wow.
I didn't say that, but I said the over on
didn't say that.
1,100.
Hey, either way, we got the best group of listeners there are, man. I've gotten so many DMs and messages. I ain't even gotten done with half of them yet, but I want to say thanks to everybody who's messaged me. Don't take it personal, and everyone saying hi in the chat. Thank you so much as well. But either way, we do have more than one damn topic, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on from the MLB The Show. And by the way, Horizon Zero Dawn coming to PS Now. A lot of people take that as, well, yeah, that's how it's coming to PC. Well, either way, for one, it's still on PC through streaming. Yeah. And secondly, that's not exactly what we're hearing. We're still hearing that that's going to come native along with other first-party games as well. Believe us, don't believe us. It's not like we're like, believe us or we're going to war. Like, this isn't how it has to be, understand? It don't have to go down this way. That's all I'm saying.
This happened. I remember when I was first on RDX. This happened like back in January. We were kind of talking about like, yeah, it's probably gonna, they're gonna start putting stuff on PC, and people are like, it's never gonna get on PC streaming or anything.
Never.
And
And MLB The Show will never go to Xbox.
Yeah,
Never.
now it's changed. Move that fucking goalpost. It's native, bitch. And it's like, oh my god. It's like
So when I'm playing on xCloud eventually, right? Then we're not really playing it on my damn cell phone because it's not native. Like, who gives a shit, you know? I'm just like, who cares? Like, look out for you. People are so like anti-consumer. It's like they don't even understand that they are the consumer. You know what I'm saying?
I know, and they're like, it's not. Yeah, it's funny that they
I'll
make
never play
well,
this native. It's like,
and they're
you should want
Don't
to.
worry, it's only going to be on PS Now for like 2 or 3 months. It's not going to be on there that long.
Oh God! It's like, why don't you want it to be on there longer? Like, what is wrong with you?
Sony is just testing out the waters too, and you know they're actually, I think they're being mindful of gamers, and they're slowly getting you guys into it so they just don't hit you over the head with it. You know, it's not a big surprise when it happens day one when the PlayStation 5 launches, or like 6 months thereafter.
Here's the best thing. They literally, what game can they put on there that's bigger than God of War, Uncharted, Horizon Zero Dawn, and all those? Like, the only other ones I could think that are kind of like the exclusive ones, there's a Spider-Man and Last of Us 2. Like, that's it.
Last
like,
of Us 2 has been on there. Last of Us 2, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Last of Us 2. That's what I'm saying. Like, a bigger game than these. Like, they have their biggest exclusives on there, people, already.
Which is great. Which is fucking
hard.
great.
And
like,
another thing
it's amazing.
that kind of irks me is that, okay, you want to die on this sword. You're a console warrior. You worship the Sony box. You should be happy then, because Sony's gonna make a lot more money that they're gonna reinvest into games on the Sony platform as well. More people are playing these games, so like for multiplayer, the games that have like multiplayer components, you're gonna have more gamers to play with, and these games are gonna have a longer shelf life. Like, it's a win-win for everybody.
That's why the fanboy narrative doesn't work with me. It's like they look at the situation. If
Playing the
my
shit on
precious
Xbox.
game, if my precious game goes to the PC, then they might have a better version than I have. And it's like, for me, that doesn't bother me when it comes to PC versus console. I'm a console gamer. I'm gonna stay on console. I don't care what people want to play on their PCs or whatever.
It's not the better version that they're bothered with, Fonz. It's that those people didn't have to buy a PlayStation and join their club. Unfortunately, that's the way they look at it. Not that they get to play one at a higher resolution.
My point is, if it is just something silly like that, then just become a PC guy. Then just go over there already, because eventually your games will be over there too. Damn it! It's happening.
let me read this real quick. Beaner says the trailer hinted at something called photogrammetry. Yes, that is actually used commonly today in like a lot of EA games. You remember Battlefront 2015? That used photogrammetry, and that's why the rocks and stuff look so realistic. They use like they scan things like a photo now, and they'll scan that kind of texture technology into the games and whatnot, and all this witchcraft and Harry Potter. We've also got Don't Call Me White, who's become a channel member. Thank you so much, sir. We do appreciate it, man. And of course, we've got a super chat from Linux. Thank you, sir. He says, I think everyone was surprised when the Xbox Series X was well, it wasn't released. It was announced, but basically the dilemma people are having is that it cannot lay on its side. It can lay on its side. That was actually confirmed.
Yeah, they confirmed. Yeah, that's one of the first things they brought out, man. Xbox, this is one of the most... I mean, are we on this topic? Fuck it.
We actually... let me introduce the topic. This is one a lot of people are waiting on anyway. And two, we got to give a shout out to... We did quickly blow past the 1100 live. Tim, dog, you better fucking pray it stops there. You're buying an Xbox One Series X, right?
Down to 1300, please.
Hey, we're already at almost 1150. All right, so we're not too Colt. You might be able to write some shit off this year.
Oh my God.
Let me go ahead and introduce this topic. Xbox One X, or fucking Xbox Series X revealed. Now I'll read through some of this stuff and then we'll come back.
Hold on. I gotta say something. I was making a joke earlier today that Phil Spencer came up on stage. He goes, announcing the new Xbox One Series One X1 Xbox One Series One. Here it is.
Now, hang on. Now, Anthony, we got to give a big shout out to Anthony Owens. Helped me out a lot because obviously I've been a little low on content because I got malaria. He said, with a $100 super chat, all right? He says, personally, and let me know if you agree with this, Fonzarelli, because this is something that people try to spin and they try to take it out of context, but I completely understand where he's coming from here. So Anthony says, personally, I wish they would just get rid of all exclusive content, all games for everyone. How do you feel about that, Fonzarelli?
I say there is no problem with any of my console games going to PC. I have no issue with that. Matter of fact, I welcome that. I think that the more gamers get to play these amazing experiences, the better. I mean, how many times have you been like, you haven't seen a cousin for a while or another gamer in your family or a friend or something, and you get together and you start talking. You may not own the same console or a PC or whatever, and you start talking about games and they're like, oh, I can't play that. I have this or I have that. You know, I just wish like everybody can play these same experiences. Like for me, you know, I understand console to console. There's a little bit, there's more of a competition barrier there. I get it. But when it comes to PC, why does it matter? Why does it matter? It doesn't.
Well,
Let 'em play.
even console to console, I get. Anthony don't give a fuck about. He's talking about everything. Like, I want everything to be on everything. I just want to play in the ecosystem that I prefer with the friends that I have. Let me play what I
I
want.
only get that to a certain degree. To a certain degree, I get that mentality.
Oh shit,
I'm
Fonz
like,
is,
okay,
Fonz is
I get it.
disagreeing, Anthony. We're gonna have a problem.
I know. I agree to a point. I agree that, you know, it would be nice to own one console and not have to buy another. That would be
Oh yeah, of course.
a dream of mine. But then again, you know, at that point, you're going to have to market your consoles a certain way to where you're going to be relying on feature sets, UIs, ecosystem, all that stuff to really sell the console. I mean, like they do with everything else. I mean, theoretically, yes, I think I would like that as well. But man, it's just like how it's going right now, where things just eventually are moving to at least the PC. I don't have an issue with that.
Well, in either case, man, big shout out to Anthony, brother, for pulling the trigger and helping out quite a bit, man. Do appreciate it. Either way, let me read through this and then we'll come back to these bullet points because some of these are pretty dumb. So, Xbox Series X is finally officially revealed at the Game Awards 2019. Now, a lot of people didn't expect it. Those who were paying attention to Jason Ronald's tweets and some of the other things going on behind the scenes probably did. But basically, it comes out. We got some saying the name is really confusing. We got some saying that it's just called Xbox when it's really not. It's called Xbox Series X, right? But here's some of the bullet points. Double the power of the Xbox One X, or over double the power of the Xbox One X, and that's according to Phil Spencer. He does not reference the architecture stuff. I think he's talking about raw T-flops, but as you know, this is confirmed to be using Navi. We'll come back to that. It can pause and resume multiple games at the same time, so you can stop and suspend multiple different games while going and playing other ones, which is very interesting. There's also only one fan in the entire console. That's at the top near that green light that's hopefully still there in the production model. It will do audio and video ray tracing. As we all know, hardware accelerated ray tracing was confirmed months and months and months ago. And that's obviously going to be leveraged with audio as well. Everything you owned, all accessories and achievements, will be available seamlessly on day one. Something that if you are an Xbox user, you are pretty familiar with. Boot up, sign in, there you go. Try games from the cloud before you buy them. Now, this is something that I do want to stop on for a second because this is funny because Windows Central confirmed this. As you know, I did a video talking about the 12 teraflops. Got a great source. And if you don't believe me, whatever, that's fine. No need to fucking throw sticks and shit at me, right? Basically, we had talked about this xCloud stuff probably about a month or two ago on a show. If you remember, Cold Eastwood, we talked about how that xCloud would be leveraged on the console. You would be able to try games and stream them instantly, or when you decide to buy a game, instead of waiting for X amount of percent to download, you would be able to play them instantly. And we said that this would happen through xCloud. Now, what's funny is when I did the video on the 12 T-flops and all that stuff, I was the first one to talk about it. Windows Central came out with their article about an hour later, I do believe, and they confirmed this in their article as well, which we had also covered like a month ago, weeks ago, at the very least. That's something else that we were kind of ahead of the curve on. And then the size comparison, which, what do you think about that, Cole? We can start from the bottom up here with the size comparison.
Yeah, go ahead.
What you mentioned this in your last video?
Yeah, it's for you in North America, or I guess in the States, it's 12 inches tall by 6 inches wide by 6 inches deep.
Why?
Oh, we're almost at that 1300, Tim. You're almost fucked.
So Tim's the best, man. I have my Xbox One X standing up on the stand, and because it has a stand, it lifts up the console a little bit. The Xbox Series X is just like maybe a quarter of an inch, maybe less, taller than your vertical stand Xbox One X, or probably your Xbox One S. I think they're really close to the same size of the current like consoles from 2016 and on, right? So this thing isn't very tall, but it is 6 inches wide. So there's been some really cool size comparisons on social media and on some videos. The thing isn't really that big. It's just thicker. It's just thicker than what we're used to. And I think
So how
it's
long
like,
do you think it'll take you to get used to that thickness there, Cole?
well, you got to. Oh, okay. You almost got me. This almost got me.
Well, he's like, it just depends, I guess.
Fold in the side mirrors.
So
and
long
you're in the
story
garage.
short, it's not really all that big, but it is. Yeah, it's a damn mini fridge.
They're comparing it to, it's actually small when you think about it, the way that people have been thinking of it, because they compare it to one of those large Echo devices. Obviously, it's way bigger than that, but I mean, the thing, I don't know how to explain it other than it's not as big as you think
some people are calling it the sex box. Now I get it.
Right.
Yep, George Michael box.
So yes, it can be put on its side. So yeah, it's my first reaction was, why is it so plain? Like, I know they can do a rectangular prism, which is what it is, but like, why doesn't it have like some flanges or just like some kind of groove or some kind of accent on it to break up the flat edges?
Well, Phil said why.
Yeah, Phil said, I want function over form. I want to make sure this thing doesn't make any noise. I don't want gamers distracted by the fan. I don't want to ever worry about heat. So I know people are saying like, if there's a discless model, it's going to be a lot shorter, but I would think it would be the same size, because that disc tray doesn't take up a whole bunch of space.
I mean, you can lay this thing pretty much however you want, though. Just don't lay it, as somebody said in the comments there, upside down.
Oh yeah.
Don't do that.
And that's what I like about everything that's basically happening with this, because in the interview, Phil did say, like, he went up to the engineering team and he's like, I don't care how it looks. This is the specs we're going after.
And they're like, good, we don't have much work.
They don't care. They don't care how it looks. They're just like, here, man, just make it good. Like, just make it so people can make games on it. And that's what matters.
For me personally, when I sorry.
Go ahead, D. You drop kicked your way through. I mean, fair and square, fuck it.
For me personally, when I first of all, my mind was blown when I saw it revealed. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? I was just in shock. And when I saw the console, it was love at first sight for me. I was like, fuck, this looks like a PC. I was like, it even has fucking RGB on the top. I was fucking.
Wow, your voice cracked and everything. That thing got you going.
But this device is gonna fit perfectly in my living room. But just like I love the design of it, and it's built for power. The ventilation at the top tells me that they're not fucking around with the cooling system, and if they're not fucking around with the cooling system, that means that it's got some real fucking juicy fucking shit inside.
Okay, all right. Jeez.
And
hey D, do you know? Have you thought about how big this thing is compared to your PC case? Because I looked up my case online today, and you could probably fit 3 of these things in my desktop PC case.
Yeah,
that's how small it is.
Yeah, it is quite small. I think I watched someone's videos today, and like they said that they were able to get like some renders for it based on the USB port on it, like the USB-C or whatever that's on it, and they were able to judge the size of it, and it's really not that big. Yes, it's tall.
Buy me an Xbox Series X.
yes, it's tall.
That's it.
Really? Wow. Yes, it's tall and vertical, but I don't know. It's just, I think it's like the perfect design. It's something different. I love it. Can't lie. I love it.
I gotta agree with you. That's what I was gonna say. The more I've looked at this thing and we've got the actual size down, I think it's a great looking console. I really do. A lot of people are saying boring or whatever. Honestly, it's functional. It looks like that's what it's built for. And to me, the tower design is something different in the console space. Yes. We've always had consoles where you can put them on its end and stand them up, but that's different. This is built to stand like this. If you want to put it on its side, go ahead. But I think it just looks great like that. And then I found out because I did some measuring and it'll fit in my cabinet. So I was like, oh, this will be perfect. So, anyways, I think it looks great, man. When they showed this thing, I fell asleep that night. Okay, I was ready for the gaming awards, but I've been working so hard. I was tired. I fell asleep. The next morning,
Death Stranding won Game of the Year, Fonz, if you missed it.
No, I watched the gaming awards the next day, and when I saw the preview for the X, the Xbox, I should say, Series X, honestly, the way they put that whole preview together, that trailer with, the philosopher Alan Watts talking through it. I've used him in a couple of my videos, but I just think it was just amazing the way they just put it all together. I thought it was really well done, and I was really shocked that they did this, especially so early. That's the thing here. It's like Phil is not used to showing us things so early, but things are changing there. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I really like it.
I mean, we've never
changing a
heard
lot.
next gen PlayStation news as early as because you remember they've brought journalists in and look, we got rumble triggers finally and all the SSD and some cool stuff there. But they're being very transparent because they know things are kind of forward and backwards compatible for the most part. There was a rumor that there was all PS5 or all first party Sony games are only playable on PS5 and all that stuff. And then Jason Schreier's like, I didn't even say that. Like him or not. Trust me, I understand if you don't. Jason Schreier said, no, I didn't even say that. I said that I know of a few that are, but I didn't say that all PS5 games or all Sony games are only playable on PS5. Didn't say that at all. By the way, we do have to give a shout out to over 1,300 people watching this live. Tim Dog, Pony Up That Money. And of course, if you haven't hit that like button, guys, let's try to smash 500 now. We already crushed 4. And of course, well over 1,000 after the fact. Thank you guys so much for what you do. Share us out, help us out a little bit. We do appreciate it. I want to move on to not only the... Say what?
I wanted to say something.
About
the
well,
Xbox,
too fucking bad. Go ahead.
Too bad I'm doing it. No, I just want to say that this was one of the cleanest reveals I've seen in a long time. We've gone from the Xbox One reveal, which was basically Armageddon, to this, and it's
Bruce Willis is there.
Well, no, they just Ben Affleck, yeah. No, it was just really clean. Like they kind of answered a lot of questions, right? You could lay it down, you could stand it up. The controller works on Xbox Ones. Like everything was just like very smooth. They answered everything that like I just didn't see anybody going, well, what about this? It's like, well, they confirmed this for that, right? Like every question was almost answered. It was so damn clean, and that's something that like I think speaks like volumes of what Xbox is doing. They have a clear message and they have a clear path of what they want to do.
Yes.
It is the ultimate in compatibility.
Zucker, what did Phil Spencer say about like the purpose of this new console? You read that article, right? His interview?
No, yeah. He said it's basically to push the boundaries. Basically, they're going to set the standard of what it is.
Yeah, he said that he wants this console to be all about just games and make sure it's focused on just gaming. So it's a totally different Xbox that we didn't get to see for this generation. And I think it's going to be a lot better for everybody.
Oh my God, I'm coughing my face off.
How do you guys feel about the design though? I like it. It's really good.
I like it.
It's 100% functional, man. Like it is exactly what it literally has to be to deliver, if accurate, 12 teraflops of Navi architecture. Now, again, these things could change. I was told that it was the target. I know that Tim knows some things. I know that, I've been hinted by some other people the same thing. It literally has to be like this for it to give you this kind of power because they do not plan on not leading. Phil Spencer said it in his recent interview. Look, we like being on top here. We like being number one in performance. This is somewhere we think we are. We think we're there. And what the hell else does the guy have to say?
But speaking about functionality and power, this thing is not nearly the size of a PC box, so a case. So, I mean, looking at 6
Not
by
even close.
12, is that enough room for all that serious power?
Well, that's the advantage of integrated parts. That's the advantage. That's the one few advantages of having something like an APU, which, as we know of, that's pretty sure they're using a damn APU once more. So you got two, basically, instead of several dedicated parts that can be interchanged and swapped out for untold amounts of compatibility, right? You've got two things in one chip, which is rumored to be a 350 millimeters, right, Tim? Something like that?
Yes.
On average, Xbox chips are about 300 something millimeters, just over 300 something millimeters. And instead of a graphics card that's 11 inches long or 9 inches long on the short end, you know, and several inches wide, you've got one chip that has all this power into it with some kind of crazy cooling. Again, apparently only one fan of this whole damn thing, so I'm very intrigued as to how they plan on cooling this.
I want to defer to D-Batch on this because right now the Pro and the X have a motherboard that's like 12 by 12 or something, right? You know, I'm just kind of guesstimating. The Xbox One X and the Pro, the motherboard's like, let's say it's 10 inches by 10 inches, and that SoC is pretty small on that board, and it's surrounded by the memory buses, and you've got all that stuff. And D's like done more building on PCs than any of us. D, if this thing's only 6 inches wide, how are they doing the board with so much power on a 12 by 6? It's like it's basically a 12 by 6 inch board.
Well, I can't, but I've heard that possibly the APU is a chiplet design.
Well, that's the way AMD stuff is going, right?
Yeah, so I'm hearing that it's a chiplet design, and of course 7 nanometer, so everything is shrunken down. I don't know. We're really gonna. I'm interested too because there is a Corsair. Forget the name of the PC now, but there's a Corsair PC that's similarly sized as that.
Yeah, it's the Corsair. What is that thing called? I saw it. Basically specced out with an i9
size,
90,
and it looks. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that because people are obviously wondering, like, okay, is it similar in size? What's it got in it? How much it cost? From what I saw, the 2080 build, I think it was a 2080 Super, right? And an i9 in there as well. It was $2,700. Just so you know, and that's a small form factor Corsair.
Also, too, I noticed that
Hate Squad.
It appears that the Xbox Series X is slightly lifted off of the ground there, so it's allowing air to go up it. We haven't seen the back to see if there's actually vents in the back.
They didn't show the back, right?
Yeah, just letting air in. But the top of it, you can see that it's well ventilated.
That's a fan on top of it.
Yeah.
But
we don't know all the specs, but is the power supply built in, or is that something separate?
They'll build that in.
No,
there's no way they'll go back.
Yeah, it's built
Anthony Owens has a kind of a related question. And thanks again. This motherfucker dropping all the bucks, $150 super chat. He says, as a trucker, I don't have the ability to basically stand it up. He's worried about the airflow. Will heat be a factor? Microsoft have confirmed you can lay that thing down. Just don't lay it upside down. Apparently, there's only one fan in the system. It's at the top. And because it is a cube shape, it is designed to suck air in from the bottom, or if it's on the side from one side, and shoot it out the other. So much like the Xbox One X, it's taking air in from the sides. And as long as you don't have things crammed on the side against the side of it, then you should be fine. Just make sure there's room for it to leave.
Phil Spencer even has it laying down at his house. That's what the interviewer said. Phil Spencer confirmed that, he goes, I have it laying down at his house.
Laying down.
But again, Anthony, I do appreciate it, brother.
The only thing I noticed about it lying down, though, was the logo. Like, is the logo going to change the orientation when you lie it down? Are they going to use some type of magnet or something, switch it around or something?
Let me look. I think the logo, if you lay it down, the logo would be normal.
Yeah, I think it'll work either way. Listen.
I mean, they do it now
like
with the X,
on its
right?
side,
Yeah.
It just goes to show you how much passion there is in this podcast. We're covering all ends and everything.
Analyzing the logo.
Analyzing the logo. But for me, just I think that the design and everything just screamed, just we're going for power and the whole, for me, what I took from it, they took some risks here, and I think that we've all said that's what we want Xbox to do. It's like, take some risks, stop playing it close to the vest, and that's what they did. So I think they deserve the acknowledgement here. So
I talked to someone at Xbox. Rand and I and Jez Corden had this conspiracy theory going Wednesday night that Microsoft might reveal Scarlett because they changed all their social media banners to the 4 consoles: the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, and the Xbox One X. And it was all in a black background, and they did that on Instagram. They did it on the Xbox YouTube and on one other site. And so we were trying to figure out that maybe there is going to be something. And then James Shield, who is the head of marketing for hardware, said Xbox fans need to tune in to the show awards tomorrow. So we're like, something's happening. And so I reached out to one of the Xbox people, and I said, I knew it. I knew you guys were going to do this. And he's like, yeah, it felt really good to be bold and to strike first.
I know who you're talking about because I also spoke to that person and he said I like tacos. No, no. Seriously, on the board thing and all that, yeah, it's possible too. If you guys ever heard of like Alienware X51, they use a custom elbow joint in the PCI Express slot to actually get that graphics card to fit into that little thing. And it's possible they could be using like elbow joints for different boards and stuff as well that can actually go around the side. Somebody mentioned in the chat and it reminded me of that, but I was going to say that anyway. It's a good point. Yeah, it's likely they're going to be having some really cool stuff going on in here. And again, design is 100% functional. I understand it. If they're really going for the power target that I talked about a few videos ago, then, you know, I don't care. I really don't care. I've talked to people behind the scenes as well. 2 different people one of them told me that there would not be an HDMI out. There would not be 2 HDMI ports on this thing. Yeah. And the other one kind of hinted to that. I don't know how accurate that is, but keep that in mind.
I think I would say yes. I would say that they're going to.
So they got rid of the dual HDMI thing that the current Xbox One has. It's basically what we're basically being hinted at and told.
Oh, that's interesting because on the reveal, the initial reveal when they were talking about it, and you see them, you know, with the sock there, and they're working on it. The one that we use in all of our videos.
Yeah.
If you look real close,
you can see 2.
Yeah, you can see 2 there.
Yeah, but again, I mean, that's just what I'm being told. Neon Shinobi says in the super chat, I'm really looking forward to Hellblade 2, and we're going to talk about that as well. Ninja Theory are by far the best pickup from Microsoft. They are one of the best. Yes, agreed. And I talked about their AAA game they're working on. I don't remember. I have to go back and rewatch my own damn video or whenever this job listing, but I'm not sure if they were talking about Hellblade here in the job listing or if it was a new franchise that they were working on, but they said this thing was going to set the bar for visuals, meaning we're going to be the best.
I think it was that.
You think so?
I think, yeah, because I remember you getting a little from, and all of us, because we said the B team was doing.
You mean when the idiots didn't know what we knew the whole time, that there was a small team working on Bleeding Edge? Yeah.
Right, and then they were saying, oh, look at this, look, Xbox is going, you know, even though it was a side project that was in production beforehand, and Xbox took it over.
Could you believe they actually thought that's what the Hellblade team was working on this whole time? I mean, I don't understand. We got 1,400 people watching live. We've had thousands, over 1,000, like quite often watching the show. And out of all these people that are watching, you're all very informed, and you've seen how all of you in the chat are right about all this stuff and how the panel's pretty accurate with a lot of this stuff. And all these people managed to miss these damn shows that so many people end up watching. And it's like, holy shit. Like, we had so much misinformation about what we even said about the E3 of 2019, and 30,000 people watched that show. How is so many people, how is it so hard to listen to something before you make assumptions, right? So we had already told people that it was a small B team working on Bleeding Edge forever before that stuff was even revealed. People. Yeah, and I think it was 15. No, that was Obsidian.
They said 6. They said 6 people. Yeah, then once they got acquired, they shot it up to 15. You know, oh shit, right? Like, oh, it's the whole.
And now it's 35. So you know, this is the type of stuff that Xbox is doing. They're taking these studios and they're adding to them. And let's be honest.
At my door, beer back.
Well, let's be honest. That kind of did. I mean, even though it's all an in-game engine and everything. That video or that trailer, I think, set more of an impression than even Halo would. When she comes on the screen, I'm looking at that thing, and I'm with a table with a bunch of guys who's watching the Jets-Ravens game, and I have my earbuds in. My jaw hit the ground. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, is that an actor? Like, I could not believe that was graphics. So,
we'll talk about that. I'm not going to push that because we've heard this in-engine, and don't get me wrong, if there's any game that's likely to look more like its in-engine trailer reveal than ever, I think Hellblade 2 would be the closest to what it should actually look like because of how much power is actually in this box. But at the same time, there's more to that story. There's so much more to what to the Series X that we haven't even really covered yet. So I want to go back and back up a little bit here. But again, we've talked about trying the games from the cloud before you actually buy them, or when you're downloading them, maybe try it or play it through streaming and then finally play it locally when it was enough. Everything you own will be compatible, will be usable, will be available day one, including all of your games. You're talking about a console that's launching with like 3,500 games, right? That's legit. You've also got the audio and video ray tracing, which we didn't see any evidence of so far in the Halo and Hellblade stuff, but that was extremely early. So I expect these games to look even better.
Actually,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Hellblade actually did have ray tracing, but when Digital Foundry was going over there, like, well, we don't know if it's because it's in engine, so
basically ray tracing is how you would perceive it traditionally. They didn't see too much evidence of it. It was mainly like the shadow stuff, and they weren't really sure on that.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, we know it's going to be there. Like, they're going to support this thing to the max. Again, one fan in the whole system, so just don't lay it on its top. Don't turn it upside down. You're good. Can pause and resume multiple games at the same time, yes. Colt. Like,
yes.
Or even Fonz here. So let's say you're playing Hellblade 2, and then you jump out and back into Ori 2. You go back to Hellblade 2 the next day, but it's right where you left it off. It never even quit the game. How does that come off to you, Fonz?
As a parent that constantly has to chase their 5-year-old everywhere, and I have to constantly like put my game on pause, turn off the console, come back and play, man, that speaks volumes to me, especially with multiple games. That means it's going to work a lot better than the current state of Xbox. Now it works most of the time, but sometimes there's been a few times where I've stopped it and come back and it's at the title menu and I got to start all over. Mm-hmm. But it's rare. But them saying that they're working on this, they're going to make it multiple games. That's great. That's something that really speaks to me. So I'm happy about that.
You can't even do that on PC. It's pretty amazing, man.
I'm impressed. And again, that's another thing that isn't doable on PC right now, really. But I mean, I'm sure somebody has some crazy workaround, right? Maybe.
I'm back.
But I want to see it in real time. How we're really going to do it. Like if you start a game, let's say you start Madden. You play it, you pause it, then you go to play Breakfast. Then you play it, you pause it. Now, what happens next? I could go back and play Madden, and Wreckfest is still going to be in queue.
It's like still going to be suspended in the RAM, or I'm guessing they'll use the SSD because, as you know, they're using flexible memory now. So if the system needs memory or RAM, rather, and there's not enough or it needs more, it can actually store live game assets inside of the SSD because the SSD is now quick enough to compete with the system memory itself, or at least do what is needed.
Right.
Which is
and then
awesome.
what would happen though? Like, let's just say you have Wreckfest. Now you have both of them in the suspended mode, and you go to the third game. Does one of them drop? That's like the questions I have.
I don't know. I don't even.
From what I'm hearing, it's multiple games, not just two, right? Multiple.
I mean, this is if you got ADD, this is your dream come true right now. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Cold Eastwood, speaking of ADD. What are your thoughts on
that's
this?
Not very nice.
Hey.
I'm kidding. It's a very common
like, hey,
thing.
look, a squirrel.
Clipping out from
Hey, maybe I do. I don't see like a big use for having more than one game suspended, but yeah, I mean the multitasking is going to be nice because this guy's going to have the power. I'm just ready to move on to next generation because everything's just so underpowered, and playing games like Jedi Fallen Order and Borderlands 3 in performance mode, and they're not really cutting it. Yeah, it's time.
Yeah.
So give me that
even though I think that Borderlands is just a lack of effort, but definitely Jedi, I get it. All the transitioning in the hub worlds and all that stuff. It's one of those things where the X is phenomenal, and it's reinvigorated console gaming for me. Right when I got that thing, I was like, finally, I've been seeing graphics like this since like 2013, 2012, like some really, really good looking stuff ever since I got my first PC. But I'm a console guy, so I'm like, I wanted this on a console and I got it. But now I'm like, damn, I want these damn frame rates, which a lot of games have been great at delivering, right? Like Resident Evil 3, for instance, right? That'll be 60 FPS. It'll be great. But there's so many that aren't. And this is going to do 60 FPS and so much more. Fonz is playing Odyssey right now, and he's like, tell me the Series S or the X is going to be able to deliver 60 FPS, you know, with at least the same graphics as I have now on the X. And I'm like, brother, it's going to do more than that. It's going to give you not only the volumetrics and all these different levels of CPU bottlenecks are going to get erased, man.
If we could get the graphics of even say Odyssey, okay, because it's beautiful, it's gorgeous on the X, and Red Dead 2, something like that. But get that at 60 frames next gen. I'd be a happy gamer.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit there and say every game's going to be 60 frames per second because every developer is not.
You were pushing that pretty
game
hard,
per
D-Batch. You
se.
got a little change of heart, huh?
But I'll say this. I don't see a reason why it shouldn't be 60 frames per second. Let's just be honest here. It's going to have an 8-core 16-thread CPU. An 8-core 16-thread CPU clocked at 3.5 gigahertz on the current gen PC. It's doing 60 on every fucking game.
And
Now,
D-Batch, if that's true, it's optimized for just gaming. So that's different, right?
I mean, you can render
I
4K
can't see-
videos on the CPU like that. Just to be, I mean, this is in 2.
I can't see realistically. I can't see games not being 60 frames per second. Let's see the transition for developers onto the new consoles. But in all honesty, there's no excuse for it. If the game can't achieve 4K 60 frames per second, with all the bells and whistles, then fuck it. Put it down to 1800p, whatever. Scale it however you can. But there's no excuse for 60 frames per second next generation with the CPU that's going to be in the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 as well.
Yeah, just give me a 1440p option or checkerboard 1440p, whatever the hell, right? So,
what gives
Mr.
me
Buster
hope for
Palmer,
that?
real quick, says 2020 would be the comeback year for Xbox. Quick question for the panel members. Should Microsoft buy Bungie or maybe even get the Star Wars license from EA? I don't think they should buy Bungie, and I definitely think they would catch hell for getting a fucking Star Wars license. Not really sure about that, but yeah, 2020 is going to be a big year, man.
Can I just add to what I said there before? Now, the reason why I say I don't know 100% the 60 frames per second, I think on regular games that don't have ray tracing or without the ray tracing option enabled, because maybe they'll give you a toggle next generation on and off. Games without ray tracing, 100% are all going to second. Now, with ray tracing, I'm not quite sure because we don't know the ray tracing capabilities of AMD's GPUs yet, and we've seen ray tracing on NVIDIA, and like fucking tanks the frame rates at high
Okay,
risk.
so here's what I'm hoping then, D. I'm hoping that they have the ability to shut that off if you want to have higher frames or stable frames.
Yeah,
Because what gives me hope here is hearing things like, they're going to be able to do 120 frames per second in some games. We know that's probably going to be delegated to like racing games and sports games possibly, but also when they say 8K capable, I mean, yeah, you got to keep your expectations in line, but that kind of gives me hope that maybe most games, if not all, will be 60 frames.
Yeah.
I agree.
And as well, I kind of missed the topics list. Sorry if it's on the topic, but I did a video on variable rate shading, and that's going to be a big thing for the next generation console from Microsoft, where they're going to be able to hit higher frame rates by lowering certain details and certain aspects of.
Do you remember talking about Project Scorpio years ago? We would do these 2-man shows, and this is back forever ago, but we used to talk about intelligent rendering. We used to talk about this kind of technology in the pipeline, where if you're not looking at something, the detail in that would be drastically reduced, or it wouldn't even be rendered. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
And we used to talk about this as something that these are examples of how consoles would achieve high resolutions and get away with certain things that people don't really think about today. And BRS is kind of one way of explaining that, is they're putting the effort where you are, where you're putting your effort.
Yeah, and from everything that I'm reading on that technology, it's gonna there's instances where it boosts frame rates by like 40%, man.
Yeah. Because you're not looking at the thing in the background behind the 2 trees behind the thing by the person's leg. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I don't need absolute detail in the fucking tree that's way in the fucking foreground that I'm not even fucking looking at anyways. If you can lower the detail on that and I don't notice it, I'll appreciate the frames per second gains much more than that fucking little piece of bark.
Of
Well,
course.
Shadow Warrior 2, which is like a 3-year-old game, was actually took the parameter around the screen and left the center 50 to 60% of the screen at full resolution and lowered the resolution around the band around your viewing on your TV, basically. That helped to because that game ran 30 frames on console, but it helped with all the physics and stuff going on. There's all kinds of crap on the screen of that game. Not a lot of people played it, but there's all kinds of things that they can do to get more performance out of these games that developers are doing. And some people are like, well, they're going to go for visual niceties and they're going to go ahead and go 30 sometimes. I'm like, I don't think they will. The big difference is there are probably a lot of games that might run at 60 sometimes, but they just say, nope, it's just too much of a load on the console. So they peg it at 30 and they keep it there. And with that bottleneck on the CPU gone as we move into next generation, I think like Fonz is right. More 60 frames games on the console. It's going to be a real big changer about how games look, because the 60 frames changes how a game looks and feels a lot.
I got to give a shout out to Beaner, who just became a channel member, man. If you guys haven't, hit that join button next to the subscribe button. If you want to support the content, the channel, stuff like that, man. Thanks. And shout out to Mike as well. Mike, you're always welcome, man. Just again, it's kind of up to you if you want to join or whenever you want to join. I know it's kind of touchy because you're not part of the team anymore and stuff. But either way, thanks for stopping by and checking us out. Mikey Bar in the chat.
Come on down, Mike.
I thought he just said he couldn't right now. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, he can't right now. But either way, Tim, you're in here. You're not showing up on the screen for some reason.
Yeah.
No, I had left for a second.
Okay. Yeah, it's a few seconds behind. Either way, I also got to give a shout out to Owen in the super chat. He says he'd love to see the reveal trailer with the 2001 A Space Odyssey soundtrack. Yeah, the refrigerator from the future. Yeah. Either way, we do have to keep it moving. We've also got now here's another thing that people are kind of running with. The name. Now we've got websites saying consumers have the average intelligence of a fucking fly.
Of a soccer mom.
Yeah, like dude, for one, it's called the Xbox Series X, right? People are saying it'll just be called Xbox, but no, there's a Series X on there for a reason. And two, aren't you gonna be a little bit curious when you get it up to the register or look down below the box and see that it is a couple $100 more than the other version?
I disagree. I think it's called Xbox. I think it's called the Xbox. Series X just implies that there's more than one.
But
series.
It will say Series X on the box. That's what it's called.
But here's the thing. It's not that hard to discern between a console like you said that costs $100 to $200 more than the old consoles.
Wait a minute, Fonz. There's a brand new Honda Civic out for 2019, but didn't they have a Honda Civic?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I wanted to touch on. I said this on Twitter about TVs. Let's take Samsung for instance. Nobody goes in and goes, yeah, I want a Samsung TV. And then they look at you and go, okay, we have a QLED, we have the MU1000 or whatever. They have so many different variants of Samsung TVs alone that it doesn't get consumers all confused and crazy about stuff. They end up getting what they want in the end.
It just makes it confusing when you talk to people in generality about the Xbox because their naming convention is so messed up.
And then there's phones. There's so many different variants of phones and stuff. Yeah, sure.
But they use a number convention like Samsung and iPhone. They stick a number behind,
but they also stick a letter next to iPhone 11s or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's different things that they do, and people get with it. Now we don't live in a day and age where people are as stupid as some of these people are making them out to be. People actually do ask questions. When they go in to buy a product, people are more well informed, or at least they have somebody there with them. If little Timmy wants an Xbox Series X, I'm pretty much guaranteed that grandma's going to bring a Series X home. She's not going to get, the Xbox One X from, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's not happening.
Now little Timmy's on Twitter saying he's concerned about other people's grandmas knowing the difference between a damn Xbox.
It's crazy to me. These people it's nuts because these same people that are saying this now are the same ones that were saying it about the S and the X. Oh, they're going to get so confused. Yeah, they
added the word Pro to PlayStation 4. Are they confused?
Okay. Well, look what Mike Barr just said. He said the news cycle should be talking about the power, design, and compatibility, and instead they're talking about the name, which is really unfortunate.
It's ridiculous. They're reaching because they have nothing else to talk about. They showed basically Microsoft came out there and they unzipped and boom, there it was. Okay.
All right.
And basically on this, look, and so look then what they do is they show a game that's utilizing that power. And so what else do they have to go after? Oh, I don't like the name. Oh, and it looks too tall.
What's your name?
Like,
Janet. I don't like your name, bitch.
But I don't, I don't like it either. Like, I knew it's like, oh man, they have to make it so difficult. Like, that's why I always joked. A dealer gave me a real good razz the other day about how I said it was going to be some form of V or 5, like some, like, the Xbox 360 was
No, you were saying that you were wrong about that on Twitter. I said, yeah, I told you it was a trash name. Oh well, fuck the haters,
No, I mean, that's funny because I actually, that tweet was a joke just to say, like, look, I'm going to apologize for being wrong. But, they made the Xbox 360. They put the 3 there because they were going up against the PlayStation 3. So they used some form of 3. I thought they would do the same thing this time around. But instead, what I think is happening is that the series thing is not supposed to be the descriptor. Like Fawn said, it's the model. So what this sets them up to do is the next year we'll get the Xbox Series X. And then the next highest console for Xbox could be called Xbox Series X2, and then X3, and then X4. But the only problem with that is by the time we get into X2 or X3, we may be doing more game streaming. And you're talking like X3.
I don't even think
like,
it's going to go that route, Colt. I think it's just going to be another Series X for the premium.
Now,
No
I
way,
got a question for Mike, if he could answer this in the chat even, is that, yeah, people are talking about the name, and of course, it's something negative that they can talk about, and that's what kind of people click on. But they should be talking about the power, which is what I'm getting from Mike's statement here. But Microsoft have not really been that specific on the power. And I've tried to get this out of certain people as well behind the scenes. Microsoft, instead of saying, hey, we're over double the power of the X, why not release specifics? Maybe show their hand a little more there. I mean, I get why, in terms of the competition and whatnot, but if is it likely that they're that close that could affect anything at all anyway?
I just want to say something real quick while he queues up his answer. They kind of did, and people aren't really paying attention. First of all, Bill said that it's over 8 times.
We need more detail, though, D.
Yeah, but he said,
and I'm sure that will come. I was told that stuff is coming.
But if you do the math, though, if it's over 8 times the power of the Xbox One that's current right now, the 1.4 teraflops, you're landing at 12 teraflops. And if you go 2 times the power of the Xbox One X, which is 6 teraflops, we're landing at 12 teraflops, which
exactly. But now people they left room for people to say, well, that's GCN calculations.
But that's asinine to think that it's GCN calculations because they're using an RDNA GPU.
Exactly.
We all know that it's a navi
exactly.
GPU.
But if they leave any room at all for people to do this, they always do it, D.
Yeah, but I think at the same time they can't reveal their complete hand because they're going to be tweaking this console right up until the release. Like if we remember the Xbox One X, right to the last minute, right to the last minute, they basically overclocked the CPU and the GPU on it, right?
Yeah,
so,
they overclocked the Xbox One, the CPU once and the GPU twice. Mike Ibarra says you can't show all your cards until you know what the competition has, basically.
And I also think that the Xbox Series X, but the way it's designed with the fan at the top and like how it's designed for performance, I think they're going to be able to crank the fucking clocks on that thing. So if they find out that, Sony's at like 10.5 teraflops, we're like, okay, how much headroom do we have? How much more do we got to crank up these fans or whatever? What voltages do we got to put this and that at? And I think that's what it's going to come down to. I think they're targeting 12 teraflops, but you know what? Who knows? It can land at 12.5. Maybe it lands at 13.
I mean, I think we're lucky if we get to 12 is insane.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, fuck.
That's fantastic.
I mean, you got people coming after you on Twitter for even typing the words 2080 or 2080 Ti performance levels here. But I gotta finish this part. Real quick. So you type 2080/2080 Ti performance here with 12 T-flops. Navi is 2080 Ti performance. Yeah. But when the Gonzalo leaks came out and everybody's talking about the PS5 shit competing with 2080, nobody goes after those people.
No, it was like, it's gonna be great. The PlayStation 5.
You got to look at this
real quick, though. Can I say this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
The 2070 Super is like 9 teraflops. The 2080 is 10 teraflops. Last time I checked, 12 teraflops is greater than 10 teraflops.
Well, this is different architectures, though.
Yeah, but RDNA architecture is on par with NVIDIA.
I mean, even just compare it to the current architecture on the X, even.
And also, too, let's take it a little bit further here. based on everything that we've seen this far, it's looking like the Xbox Series X is an RDNA 2 GPU. Now, if it's an RDNA 2 GPU,
That's
it's going to be
crazy.
even more efficient than RDNA 1, and those 12 teraflops are even more. I'll
See,
leave that there.
I don't know.
Hey, Tim Dog.
I
Tim,
think-
Mike,
Yeah.
Mike wants to hear from you, buddy. Now, wait, what you gotta understand, Mike, is Tim's over there chewing on his toenails, man. He does this sometimes.
No, I'm here, and I'm listening. And
He does it a lot. He's flexible.
I agree with Mike. You can't show your cards, but just based on the design alone, the way it looks, and kudos to Mike. You know, he was there at the time when this was being pushed. That's really all you need to know. If Mike's behind it, regardless of whatever happens, it's gonna be a beast. It is a beast. And I just feel that that they went in with a mindset, and they're just waiting, for it to just all piece together. Like Mike said on a tweet. Power is kind of like people go crazy over it. It really comes down to the games and stuff like that. And he's right. But rest assured, you got a box here that's gonna be.
And two,
least,
Tim, we had we had planned on basically making sure that people knew that Mike Ibarra, if they really went for as high a spec as we're told, we know Mike is one of the main people behind that, and Mike should get credit for that as well.
Well, Mike.
Yeah,
Mike
when I saw that design.
When
I saw that design, that screamed Mike to me. I was like,
He just said, "Take it to the bank, boys."
Take it to the bank, boys.
About this
These
whole
people
thing.
on a George W.
And I
love
mentioned
that
this in our
guy.
DM, I've been mentioning this in our DMs as well. Like all this talk about 2080 Ti power and all this stuff. Look, I don't believe it's simply for one reason, and that one reason is price point. I don't think that they could actually outdo a PC high-end rig with a 2080 Ti for even $600. It's not happening.
It does seem crazy, yeah.
Can I just say this real quick? Okay, now CES 2020 is supposed to be really interesting. We're apparently going to get the RDNA 2 GPUs out. I'm hearing these are rumors, so don't fucking say it's fact. It's a rumor that it's going to be around 20 teraflops. If it is indeed 20 teraflops, the full Navi 23, which is dubbed internally the NVIDIA killer, then it's pretty safe to say that the Xbox Series X may be a cut down version of that, and that 12 teraflops really comes into play. Also, you got to remember that in 2020, the 2080 and the 2080 Ti are going to be 2 years old at that time, and a new GPU architecture is going to be coming into play from AMD and from NVIDIA as well. So why is it so crazy to assume that the new architecture is not going to beat the old architecture? Now, I'm not going to go out on a limb and say it's going to be. I'm not going to go out on the limb and say it's going to be better than the 2080 Ti.
We never said it was going to beat a 2080 Ti. Ever.
I do, however, think it's going to rival it. I think it's going to rival.
You have to understand what the word rival means. Like when you're looking at a $500 or $600 box, like a full stop box at games, that it will be rivaling a $1,200 GPU for the price. And you're looking at games that are running close to native 4K.
You're saying it will. Are you saying it will rival?
I'm saying it will rival it because at that price, it will be running, somewhere around 4K or a dynamic 4K at 60 frames with some really visual niceties and some advanced physics that you didn't see on current gen consoles. Like that is definitely a rival situation.
Look, I'm excited for it as well if it's got a great power and stuff, but I have my expectations a lot lower because I don't even think my X rivals a mid-range PC at all. I don't think it does at all.
CPU-wise, probably not.
CPU-wise, no, but the
CPU-wise, not even, but the GPU does.
I don't even think
that's the whole point.
No, of course the GPU does. I mean, you can still look at the comparisons on Digital Foundry right now.
Yeah, like the comparisons just say it all.
Lil Fonzarelli, a little out of the loop.
Everything else brings that GPU powered.
Well, you don't have that issue going forward. That's the point.
I know what you're saying, Fonz, that everything else, but that's the whole point of this
Yes, but
console, that everything else builds it together. That's the point. Like they're talking about getting the best out of their GPU.
Mike said, "Now you're making me want to get on this call."
You're
You're welcome.
Yeah, let's keep arguing. Let's keep
But
fighting.
here's the thing: you're so stuck, D, on this whole 12 teraflop thing, and I just don't think. I could be totally wrong that it's going to be a 12 teraflop machine.
But that's
that's coming from.
Okay, I
Hold
hear
on,
you.
guys, hold on. That's the 12 teraflops, not the point. Like that's not what I push when I'm talking about my videos. I'm talking about what the game is going to look like and feel like on your screen. That's what matters, not what the numbers say pulling off the hardware. I don't care about rivaling what the teraflops and what the output and the clock speed of a 28 Ti. That's not what I'm saying.
No,
rival. I'm talking about when you're
performance.
looking at playing the game. If you put those things side by side, you know, for $600 or $500, look at how this game looks at somewhere around 4K or dynamic 4K at 60 frames with a little bit of ray tracing and, you know, PC quality physics. That is a rival of what that card does. That is a $1,200 card. Because Mike in the chat said, Mike Ibarra said, you can't compare a desktop
hang on. Let Colt read what Mike said. And by the way, Mike Ibarra in the chat, check your DMs. You know, you can always jump in here. I just, you know.
But wait, you just said a $1,200 card. Like,
well, think about it this way, Fonz. Before Threadripper, fucking destroying chips twice as much. I mean, you gotta think about things are at the price they are because there is no competition. All right.
Look, I'm
definitely
I'm sure the power is going to be great. I don't have an issue with that, but I just don't think that these expectations of it's going to rival a high-end PC are reasonable right now.
Now, just to be clear, that's not what everyone is saying, and that's not exactly the full story.
Let me just say this real quick. Rival does not mean beating. It means close to, like, you could compare it to it. Doesn't mean that it's beating it. Number one,
it's competing with it. Yes,
I like Turtles for the record.
Number two, we have right now from AMD a 5700 XT. I think it's like 9 or 10 teraflops, something like that. That is competing with a 2080 right now.
Well,
and the GPU that we're going to get in the next generation consoles is going to be more powerful than that, and it's going to be different than that because it has ray tracing. Already they're there competing with the 2080.
I admit that, you know, dealer, you guys know much more than I do about this, you know, PC stuff and this tech, but at the same time, I just don't feel like at even a $600 price point, you're going to rival a $1,200 card.
But
hold on, Fonz, right
you
now.
keep forgetting that $1,200 card. First of all, I'm sorry, it's a great card. I'm not going to say it's not a great card. It is, but it's overpriced because they have no competition. For starters, once again, in 2020, that card is going to be 2 years old, and it's not going to be worth $1,200 at that point as well, because NVIDIA is going to be moving on to the 3080 Ti, and that's going to be old news. It's going to be cheaper, and they're going to have, hopefully, competition from AMD. And like what they did with Ryzen to Intel, like Ryzen was competing with, like Dealer said earlier, CPUs that were twice the price. And when Ryzen came out, especially Ryzen 3000, Intel was forced to reduce a lot of their CPUs by 40-50%. So it's all about competition as well.
I'll believe it when I see
now what I will say, Fonz, is you will believe Digital Foundry, and Digital Foundry do have this thing pegged at 5700 XT levels.
I'll believe Digital Foundry.
No, I'm just saying that just for the record, Digital Foundry have already assembled a build. They say it'll be somewhere around 5700 XT levels of performance. That does compete with 1080 Ti, which does compete with 2080. Just so you know.
So that's at the more moderate spectrum of like believability for most people. Yeah.
And again, it's not an argument at all. So either somebody in the chat said, Eli, thanks so much for becoming a channel member, by the way. If you want to become a channel member, hit the join button. David Robinson says, good job holding it down for the team. For the team for years. We just hold down the shit that we like, brother, man. We just talk about Xbox. That's what we happen to prefer. At least most of us happen to really prefer it. And we like some different opinions in there, man. So, and also shout out to over 1,500 people watching live, guys. Hit that like button. Let's smash 700 likes for the end of the show. 1,000 after the fact. Crushing records for Xbox shows on YouTube. Crushing our own damn records. Thanks to you guys. Do appreciate it.
I have to say though, like the other thing that we're not taking into account either, Fonz, is that like what they said about Rival is like they're going to compete with. that's like what they're saying. But like the X is already better than like most fucking PCs out there. Like it already is. Like a lot of people don't have these PCs that they can run even what the X is doing. Like I don't even think my friends
On
have
the
PCs
GPU
that can
side,
do
yes.
that. On the GPU side, especially. Like the CPU probably. But that's the whole point. Like we're gonna have balance between both of those, and then the RAM and everything. Like it's gonna rival it because it's custom tech made for the gaming. That's the point. Like PCs do a lot more, right? We've talked about that before. And that's what they're talking about is that a lot. Yeah, sure. There's gonna be a guy that puts 4K down on a PC and gets crazy performance, but that's not the market they're going after there. Like that's not the point of it. The point of it is just to rival most PCs and rival whatever the competition doing, which is going to be Sony. Like that's the whole point.
And at double the
You're
frame
gonna-
rate, man, you have no real desire to sit there and say, I have to play the shit on my PC. What did Mike say, Cold? He said, you can't compare, what did he say? I need to find that.
You can't compare desktop PC components to integrated console.
So that's Mike fucking Ybarra, not some bum
That's
on fucking
Mike
Twitter.
Ybarra.
You know,
yeah.
so
I mean that's a pretty listen. People have been saying that for years, and PC guys were like, "Well, no, you can." I agree with Mike. Just it's a wait and see thing. It's just it must be tiresome, and Mike mentioned the people being stressed. I could see why the people that design these things get stressed. We're 40 minutes into 20 minutes just on the conversation of power, and really at the end of the day, it's just numbers. It's just when it really comes down to it, you're gonna get a beast machine on both ends.
Yeah, and I don't want people to think that I'm just naysaying the new Xbox, that it's going to be dog shit or something. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I really think it's going to be a powerful console, probably the most powerful console next generation. But I just think the expectation of it's going to rival a high-end rig with a 2080 Ti, I don't see it yet. I have to see it to believe that.
But yeah, I just want to reiterate and double down on the Digital Foundry video and just tell you, and everyone watching, that if you've got a problem with somebody saying it rivals a 2080, then you better go attack Digital Foundry, because they literally did a big ass stream on this that I covered at length. D covered it in length. 57 XT performance compared to 2080 Ti. 2080 Ti competes with 2080, or not 2080 Ti, 1080 Ti. 1080 Ti competes with 2080, and it's possible that AMD and Microsoft, they've got some kind of fucking partnership. You could tell when they were announcing this D-batch on stage, Lisa Su and Phil Spencer come out and they're like, we're doing something really special. And we're like, what the hell could you be doing this? So we figured it's a one-off APU that is ridiculously powerful. But,
I'll say this. I would expect Phil to go back on stage again this year at CES. We announced their RDNA 2 graphic cards. And I think Sony and Microsoft are basically just waiting for AMD to reveal their big GPUs before they really come out and start talking about it. And as well, I've been doing some diving, and there's some APUs that are showing up now that have RDNA 2 graphic cards. They're like pretty beefy. One's called Van Gogh, and it's a pretty beefy fucking APU.
All right, I'm a fraud. I got to read David Robinson's whole thing. I started to, brother, but then I got sidetracked, obviously, and I've been told that sometimes you got to read the right super chat at the right time, or it kind of breaks up the topic. It's not my fault. So David Robinson says, better late than never. D-Batch did a fantastic video on breaking down the Xbox Series X. Cold Eastwood Zocker dealer, good job holding it down for the team for years. Thank you. And then in parentheses, he says, it's on now. $10 to each. Respectfully submitted, D9X. So again, after the show, send me your PayPal links and I'll split this up. Thank you so much, David Robinson, who got sidetracked. Either way, a lot of power.
James Taylor said, dealer, stop with the BS. It's not going to be better than a 2080 Ti. Bro, are you listening?
I mean,
to the show?
did he not even listen to the show, Cold Eastwood?
We quadrupled down on it like 18 times.
Hey, James Taylor, put your face up to the screen so I can smack the shit out of you.
Well,
Jesus
let me
Christ.
look. I'm the one that you've been arguing with, and no, they did not say it's going to be better than a 2080 Ti. They said that it would rival that.
Well, rival a 2080 or 2080 Ti. Yes.
Right.
And again, if you got a problem with that, look over at your computer and write that. Sign the divorce from your plastic over there in the corner, because you got a problem. You shouldn't be that attached. You should want better hardware for your money. Either way,
Yep.
No doubt.
let's go ahead and move on. Again, Digital Foundry, I'll repeat, have it pegged at 5700 XT levels, which rivals 2080. If you got a problem with my claim, you got a problem with theirs. God, man, motherfuckers
I'm
can't
talking
listen.
about overall performance and visuals and everything. When it's all put together, all said and done, that's what I'm talking about against a high-end 2080 Ti rig. That's all.
We'll have to see. And at the end of the day, hopefully it is as awesome as we think it is and are hoping it is. What is this fucking Tim Dog? What'd you put in the chat here?
I didn't type anything.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm looking in here. Yeah,
It's his pin number.
yeah, Tim, you owe us all. You got to buy us all Xboxes, man.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah,
Yeah, he said 1,500. He'd buy one for everyone in the chat.
Yeah.
So,
everybody here gets
You guys,
Tim's like the new Oprah. He's like,
I was about to say, you get an Xbox. You get an Xbox. You didn't say which Xbox. We're going to get freaking 360.
no, but thanks for stopping by and watching this,
yeah,
guys.
that's a great number. That's really appreciate the support.
That's
guys.
not enough enthusiasm from you, Tim.
Yeah, I want to hear one.
Oh my god. Tim needs a fucking
Sorry,
DBS.
soccer.
More. All right, what do you got for us next, Deal? I know you
Okay.
have a whole.
I can't hear
laundry list
anything
of
anymore.
stuff.
There's blood coming out of my ears. It's fine.
Fuck. Tim needs one of those DBXs, Fonz.
Hey Tim, when that James Taylor guy's on here again, you should do a yell so you know when to.
He's
James
like, show
Taylor
the
sit the-
people with love that you love. You know, we're in the corner not paying attention to what the fuck we're saying. Tony Berg, RDX question of the day. Yes, I actually remember to get one of these. He says, why reveal the Series X now, Cold Eastwood? And not necessarily you, but so I'm going to throw it at you.
Yeah. Why? Well, actually, I heard behind the scenes they wanted to do this for XO19, but everything wasn't ready. So, yeah, what a big shock and surprise to do it at the Game Awards. Why did they do it? Because Microsoft wanted to strike first. They wanted, and what they did essentially was they took what Xbox hasn't had in a long time. They took mind share for the media and for fans, and everyone's talking about the Xbox Series X right now.
Thank you so much.
that's a really
Micah
good
Barr
thing.
just answered a question I've had for so long. I've heard about this thing that this console's going to do that PCs cannot do. And Micah
Okay.
Barr just hinted at it right here. Right fucking here. He says the I.O. could be better than anything that PC has ever seen. Now, this is something that I talked about in my last video and something I theorized on for months and months and months, and I wish you would have just told me this forever ago. So basically 40 times transfer rate speeds within the box itself. Mike Ibarra says this is better than anything that PC basically could have seen to date. This is something that is happening in the Xbox that PC is currently not seeing. And this is basically the rate of data transfer within the box itself. I don't know exactly how much this has to do with PCI Express 4.0 and mainly not even PCI Express part, but the 4.0 bandwidth that they now have the capability of having in the motherboards. But this is kind of something that I've thought of as to how they would get 5-second load times, 3-second load times on some of these games that now, even on PC, on my 970 Pro 1 terabyte SSD, my NVMe, takes 25 seconds or 15 seconds. This is how they would get these ridiculously fast load times.
Is IO input output? Someone just asked.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically all that.
Moving the bits
data's-
around in the box, moving the data around in the box.
Mhm.
Basically, the Xbox Series X is going to have like a really short little pipeline from the goodness to the greatness. Like, so it doesn't have to travel like all the way across and through, on mechanical drives and all this stuff. Mike said something. Add something.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Mike.
Fonz.
Mike also says this is based off of something that Sony have demoed and said not Xbox, but Xbox have actually said this as well. I'm pretty sure they've talked about the 40 times.
They talked 40 pounds. I just read that 40 times input. They said that. So
Yeah, well,
And he said that
They talked
Sony is
about they had, like, a
maybe
patent, right?
Sony has said something else as well. But he says right now
Right.
PlayStation have definitely talked about this. I don't remember PlayStation saying 40x boost or giving any numbers there.
Xbox did. Xbox definitely. I read that today. 40 input.
Yeah, I covered that in my last video actually. Yeah. So I mean, so basically, and this is something I said as well, could pertain to the next PlayStation. We don't know, but again, it could have a lot to do with the new bandwidth and the doubling of bandwidth inside there. which is awesome. And that's something that right now PC, even though they have 4.0 on that side of things, games are not specifically tailored to launch and load that quick through all of that.
No,
So
they're not, and not many
PC
not many
Master
people have-
Race can come after you now.
I don't care.
And you need to have a new rig. You need to have a new motherboard. It's mostly new builders that will be able to take advantage. And let's just be honest, a lot of PC guys, when they get new components, like for instance, you get a new Ryzen CPU, you don't need a new motherboard. You can plop that CPU into your old motherboard. However, you're not getting the new feature TI 4.0. So this console is built for it. So it's going to be optimized for it, and man, it's going to be sick.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you really can't compare a desktop to a build like this. It's just right there. There's stuff going on that's specifically suited for the box to give you the best gaming experience you can have. It's not,
Well, they've hinted at that for a while, right? Like
Yeah.
it's all custom. Like even the SSD, it's custom. Like we've heard that. Like a lot of stuff, like the data transfer, everything is all custom built for the console. So when people start comparing it to PC, like what Mike said, it's just don't do that. It's not built for that. We're not trying to do that. That's not what the console is trying to do. It's not trying to freaking sit there and compete with what everything a PC can do.
Yeah.
Hey, hang on one sec. Chef, or I don't know how to pronounce that name, but he says, I think what Mike is saying is Sony have actually tried to demo it and Microsoft haven't. Yeah, they have demoed some things with Spider-Man and all that. Yes, that is true. That could be what it is.
I think, unfortunately, the comparison with PC comes with the extra power that we're getting this generation. This console, guys, they're just not used to it. Like, we're gonna have like a 8-core fucking CPU, Zen 2 based CPU in this. We're gonna have 60 frames per second, fucking ray tracing. Like, it's just insane what these next consoles are bringing. And I agree with him. It is different than PC. But the comparisons are going to be there, and I don't think it really should be a comparison, because the price to performance that you're going to get out of these consoles, it is completely different.
Yeah, and too, that's something we had said. He sums it up by saying what we've said before too. PC stuff in general will always be ahead. There's no ceiling there. We've talked about this, right? So the whole PC versus console thing is dumb because you can't compare the two. Okay, gotta go now. For real, Red Dead 2 is waiting. Yeah, enjoy that 60 FPS and the $33,000 it took you to get there on Red Dead 2.
We love you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Shout out to Mikey Barr. Thanks for stopping by. Do appreciate it, man. It's a lot of insight here from Mikey Barr, even in the chat. Imagine if he was on the show, right? Which again.
Well, I think Mike, honestly, he has to walk a fine line here too.
He does.
He doesn't know what's been publicly said, so he's doing the right thing, and he's trying to give us what he can. At the
See,
time.
we're all about all the little picking up on all the little things and trying to, you know what I'm saying? And as Mike proved in the chat, sometimes that stuff leads places, right?
Right.
But Mike is a busy guy. He's got to play some Red Dead now.
Right. It just goes to show you, though, like you guys made videos about the IO, which, as we now know, it would be the with the transfer rate that they were talking about, and people said, you don't know what you're talking, making it up. The stuff that comes
I'm
from
gonna load a 15-year-old game in 3 seconds.
Just realize that the people here are talking to real people that know things, we ask questions, but we obviously we keep it at a minimum. We don't ever reveal or anything.
You don't badger anybody.
The stuff that you get from here is not coming from bullshit. It's not made up.
Well, I mean, we've proven that over and over.
I just like to preface that because that was the thing with you. I remember you made that video because I remember that whole story about what he just said about how things are being done on consoles that aren't being currently done at PC. And I remember Colt got some kickback on that. But there you go, from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, I mean, somebody tried to load up Fallout 3, which is a game from 2008, and it's like a 7-gigabyte game. Look, I can load it in 3 seconds on my PC. Yeah, I mean, the games we have on our console are like 30 to 60 gigs a piece.
And I'm looking at my PC. I'm loading up the same game he did, and I did it in less time than he does. I got a better PC than you. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, either way. Dead Captain James Colt in the super chat. You want to read that off? I try to find this other thing here. Would you mind? Would you kindly?
Oh, that's funny. I was just playing BioShock 2 the other day. Okay, hold on a second.
It's so good. It's still such a good game, man. Lethal Papa's actually run through BioShock 2 as well. It's so good. and I'm killing
Okay,
dead air here.
what was his name? Oh, right here.
Dead Captain James.
Dead Captain James says, I think the word rival that's tripping. Yeah, it is. He says, I think it's the word rival that's tripping people up. Series X is a beast and it'll most definitely compete with high-end PCs. It just won't be better, and that's what it's meant to do. Yeah, I agree with that whole. When I do my videos, I write a script out, so I try to be very careful about what words I use, and I use the word rival on purpose because it will perk people's ears up, like rival, but you have to take it at its real value. Because D's right with me. Rival means it will compete or it will give it its run for its money. And I think that's the best way to say it. Maybe I'll say that in my next time I bring it up in a video, that the Series X will give a high-end PC a run for its money. And I could say that with full confidence. Even if this console is like $600, it will definitely give a high-end PC a run for its money.
Well, during your Independence Day speech there, I called Luca. And her phone is off or straight. Charge your phone, girl. And I'm trying to say, come on to the show. Give us your thoughts on this. If you can hear me. I see her in the chat. But yeah, it's a lot of so much interesting stuff finally happening, man. And by the way, those asking, this is Man of Medan, Xbox One X. And of course, this being live streamed, so it doesn't look. This is one of the best looking games I've ever seen in my life at times, for obvious reasons, right? Very limited type of movement and all that stuff. But you watch me miss some quick time events right here, and fall and trip on a boat. And I was like, half asleep playing this at 4 a.m.
You could have blamed it on her, but way to be, man.
Can't do that. But either way, a lot of insight on the show today, and. Tons of interesting stuff there. Great question by Tony Berg as well. Why the reveal the Series X now? Which leads us into Hellblade 2 and the Game Awards. Hellblade 2 said to be running in-engine in real-time demonstration, basically, I guess, on behalf of the Series X. What are your thoughts there, Zalker, on the way this game looks? And keep in mind, we've seen in-engine demonstrations over and over. I wouldn't fucking jump right into this thing's asshole, but it's going to look damn good on the Series X.
Oh, yeah. See, the game, like when it was coming out, I was like, wow, this looks really nice. It's looking good. But the thing that stole the show was the damn mocap facial animation.
Freaky.
Like she did it was like weird looking, but it's also, she did twitching, right? Like a lot of stuff. I think they did that on purpose to show you how far advanced they're going with that, right? And if we look at the job descriptions that Ninja Theory has put out, right, they said they're trying to set the benchmark in graphics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was what some of the job descriptions said, and that shit that we saw, that was some benchmark right there. Like that was just obscene looking, and that's what I like the most. Like, and the music with it, like everything hitting, like it was just, man. That's a mature game, folks. Like, sorry, like that's a very mature game, and
I'm a little disappointed though, Zach. Why didn't they show Super Lucky's Tale 3?
What happened to 2? Right? Don't
it killed itself.
Bitch. Oh, it killed itself. Then it rise like a phoenix as 3. I don't know, but no, I get people wanted Banjo-Kazooie like Colt does, but I really just want. After seeing the Hellblade 2, it looks really good. A lot more people started playing it. I don't know if you guys noticed. Like a couple people on my friends list started playing the first one because I know they haven't played it, and so that's pretty cool. I think that could be a franchise that really blossoms into something bigger than we all think.
Laba wants to know, if these things would support ultra wide monitors and at what frame rate. Maybe 1440p, 1080p. Yeah, there's nothing in the world stopping them performance wise from doing ultra wide. I would say it's more of a demand, and for a developer to maybe implement something like that, I don't know how long. Hell, the Quantum Break guys were like, we just had Larry on his lunch break port the game to the X. I don't know how long it's going to take to port that kind of stuff and do that, but to add that resolution and that aspect ratio, I wouldn't imagine would take a whole lot of time. Just detect if it's plugged up to an ultra wide and disable that option for those that are not plugged up to an ultra wide. Make sure it's idiot proof, basically.
Oh, okay.
Luca! Hi, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, guys?
It's good to have you on here. What are you doing? Your phone was a little overloaded with what was going on? I couldn't get through.
I'm updating my phone right now.
Oh, well, what timing? What are your thoughts on everything? Just everything that we've kind of covered. You saw Mike in the chat talking about the I/O speeds, the transfer rates of data within the box, how big that's going to be. Give me your thoughts. Yes, you.
You want me to give you thoughts?
You
on
with the
some
face.
technology stuff?
Yeah,
I know what
I mean,
no,
you've got to
what
be
you're saying.
excited. You saw the Hellblade stuff.
Yeah, no, I honestly speaking, when I was watching the Game Awards, it was very unexpected to see them come out with the Series X and the showcase Hellblade like that. It looks phenomenal. I was honestly blown away. And I feel like maybe I'm in the minority here, but I really like the way the Series X looks. And if games are going to be looking like that, I don't even see why anyone could have a problem with it.
Or even close, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Plus,
and
I think it looks really cool. Like, I really like the design. So.
how'd you feel about those facial expressions? That's a little PTSD for me. I mean, I just
Yeah, it was pretty sick, man. It was very, very sweet. Like I said, I've been pretty middling about the Series X because I would prefer to see things than just hear spec talk. But just seeing it in action and how it was such a surprise for all of us, because for me at least, me and the people I was with, I was like, well, I had no idea that they were going to do this. I just thought it was phenomenal, and I thought it was amazing. I like the show a lot in general, but that was definitely the highlight for me.
Awesome. Yeah, Hellblade 2, I mean, it looks insane. It's the best game show of the year.
Yeah, I mean, XO was really cool. E3, but then everything else is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was definitely... I'm shocked that it was actually good, to be honest, because I'm so used to being these shows being... not the best after the last couple months, but I'm actually really excited for E3 next year because the new consoles we'll see more about them. And yeah, man, Xbox is bringing that heat, and
that heat. Adam Opendry, he says Hellblade is an amazing game, and if you guys haven't watched the documentary where they went over the sound technology stuff of the game, he really recommends that. He's actually shocked that there's a sequel. I thought they were working on something new, Luca. I didn't know there was I mean, I thought, well, Hellblade 1 was such a cohesive package. It was its own thing. Maybe come back to it later, but it really didn't need a sequel. But after seeing this, you're like, maybe it did need a sequel. Maybe this bitch is on a warpath now. I don't know, Yeah,
I was just like, oh, I wonder what she's doing. Like, I wonder, clearly she was summoning something. So I think that's going to be an interesting thread to follow.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying that they translated it and it was like she was praying to Odin for like killing or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
just help me kill everything, Odin, please.
Yeah, so like Odin kill things, or I don't know, but I honestly, like, I know people thought it was going to be a new one. I had a feeling it was going to be Hellblade 2 because that game, like, if you look at the video when they got acquired by Microsoft, they really bring that up and how it basically saved their fucking like their development team. Like, it saved their lives, right? Like, it really did. Like, they talked about the sales, they talked about everything. So I think that game has a special place, like, in their hearts. So of course they wanted to revisit it.
Hey, AJ in the chat, real quick. AJ in the chat, if you want that link, it's a video I did where one half of the screen is blue and one half screen is green. It's 600% boost to CPU. Some shit. I don't know. You have to. It's not too far back, man. But honestly, it's like a 13-minute video, and the link is in that description. I wish I could hook you up right now. I'm kind of multitasking, but somebody could probably find that for you. But yeah, Digital Foundry did do that stream. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, just imagine like what they're going to be able to accomplish with the Microsoft backing. And Hellblade 1 was already beautiful, but now it's just like on another level. Honestly speaking, I was blown away. I was really impressed, and I'm really looking forward to next year and seeing what else Microsoft's going to do.
Yeah, I'm wanting to know what else they have as well, and where Hellblade's at in development. I mean, people, and this is the thing about some of the big media sites that I don't understand, is you guys are on salary basically for covering this kind of stuff, yet you don't know that Hellblade was being worked on before Microsoft bought them. So Hellblade 1 released in 2017. Porting a game to Xbox One doesn't take all that long. It came out a year later. They did not start porting it until well after the release of it on PS4, apparently. So they have been working on something. They're always in pre-production on something, right? They got projects rolling out, always. They've pretty much been working on this since sometime in 2017, apparently. Or at least working towards that goal. They didn't start working on it the day Microsoft bought them. And a lot of these guys like forget that when they're talking about this game. Like, we know it's been at least a year and a half, probably 2 years in development now. So when do you think this game's coming out, Colt?
I don't know. I don't know how much I'm supposed to know. 2 years from now?
You should know.
I'd say holiday 2021.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2021 too.
That's what I'm thinking. I think holiday 2021, and yeah, I mean, I think for them to show it, right? Like that's. I know people said Phil doesn't want to show things that far out, but I think 2 years is good. I mean, they showed Halo.
I don't
2
think
years
he's
away.
married to that. I think that was kind of a pacifying statement.
Saying
to
Phil
kinda
got a
get them
divorce,
through
is that what you're
horrible
saying?
year.
And by the way, Phil Spencer at XO said, "We have so much things in development. Get used to us announcing games at game events." So he's
Mhm.
keeping his words. One game event came up, showed a new game, and he actually showed Gears Tactics also, which I know it's not new, but they didn't show shit for that for so long.
I
And they
saw a
showed that, and
screenshot of
looked
that, Zucker.
amazing.
That shit looks really good. Like
Dude,
visually.
don't even. Yeah, man.
You
when
haven't seen the cinematic trailer with the gameplay in it yet, Dealer? For Gears
Gunplay
Tactics?
FPS. Do I have to smack the shit out of you? He said, didn't you guys pass on Quantum Break but love Control?
No. He's talking about the Sony guys. Like
Oh, okay. I was about to say,
they dismissed Quantum Break, but Control was fire.
you know what?
Dealer got ready, dude,
Actually, I'm an
put the
idiot
baby
because
powder in his
I
hand and
know Gunplay FPSs. I shouldn't even. Well, Gunplay, forgive me. I'm on my knee here, right?
Give Dealer a hug. He's got like a
I'm
massive
having an
cold and he's got Ebola.
interesting week. Okay, I'm struggling here. All right.
I mean, we're lucky to have him alive at this point.
As for
Oh,
your
wow.
question about the media, did you hear about how a news outlet actually took Z Huge's tweet? He made a tweet, and it was like a joke tweet where he was saying that the new PlayStation 5 this is how it's going to look, but it was like literally a refrigerator with the PlayStation icon on it. And some news site, they took it and was like, oh, a reputable source, Z Huge, says that this is what the next PlayStation is going to look
Oh
like.
my god.
And he was just kind of like, I don't even understand how you could not double check that. Like, what were you thinking? It's clearly a fucking refrigerator. So it's just kind of like, at this point, no disrespect intended, but a lot of these news outlets don't really seem to care much about fact checking and integrity in that regard. So,
Well, anybody can start a website. Literally anybody, and anybody can type on a website and say, "Oh, it's an article, so it's real."
yeah,
Like while discrediting people that do things in like a video format, right? That's the
Yeah.
thing about being on a website and writing an article. I could turn every video into a fucking article if I wanted,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's in word form, so it's more important. It means more. It's less of an opinion, and
Yeah.
that's and it's something interesting about media. But either way,
And it takes 20 minutes to write.
goodness.
It's great.
Yeah, I know, right? It doesn't take 4 to 7 to 14 hours to build. It takes 20 minutes to write, so it's a lot easier to do. Let me go ahead
a lot of
and
that is fear.
say what?
A lot of that is fear because of how prevalent YouTubers have become in regards to how much influence that they have, and these, like, they know. I'm not saying that the medium is dying exactly, but it's like as more and more YouTubers gain influence in the gaming community, it's kind of shining a light and on how people can digest their information differently. They don't have to go to specific websites anymore.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with people would rather watch a well-made video, an entertaining-looking video, than read an article. So I mean that's kind of like since I'm a content creator, I have that advantage that somebody might want to actually sit and watch my video instead of read the article.
But you
and
have
then,
the disadvantage of fucking spending 10 hours to build something like that and honing that. So.
I know, and I mean, people can come to a video like Dealer and I or Zockers or D-Batches and just go to the source and read the article and skip the video. But thankfully, people like watching.
And two, you do help and push those articles that people might not even know exist or whatever. Every time you link a source like that. No Russian says, I hear Xbox guys are just now playing Hellblade, even though it's been on the Xbox for years. No, I think a lot of people are replaying it, and those who didn't play it to begin with, yeah, maybe they have some newfound awareness for it, but you're probably hearing that from a group of trolls on
now,
Twitter.
This comes from people gatekeeping Hellblade 2, saying you're not allowed to be excited for Hellblade 2 if you didn't play Hellblade 1. You're a fraud. But I would like to
That's
have
really
Dealer
dumb
tell
logic
us,
because I didn't not only did
Tell us about Witcher.
not only did I play Witcher 2, but I didn't even like Witcher 2. Witcher 3, probably the favorite game of all time.
That gameplay for Witcher 2 is pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
It actually
bad.
really is. It's
Yeah.
really bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's also a really high-rated, well-loved game, but not everybody loves it. So, yeah, we don't need to worry about what people like or they don't like. But
Yeah, it's not like it's well, I mean, a statement like that doesn't even have to be made. It just seems like a dumb statement.
Who cares? Like, there's new people finding like Halo right now, right? Like they're playing through all Halo, like through the Master Chief Collection. Like, who gives a shit? Like,
I
people
didn't
can
play
just
Gears
it.
4 until the end of 2017. I was in like 2 chapters and I moved on to something else that I wanted to play. You know, it's like it doesn't matter.
Delete your channel, Colt.
I
Hey,
think
Zucker. This day's gone even though you don't like it.
Stop it!
8 out of 10, bitch.
Monkey
think,
dead, monkey dead breathing apparatus.
I think games with good stories are timeless. You know, honestly, it doesn't really matter when they came out. Like, I didn't play the Mass Effect series until a couple of years ago, like in 2014 maybe.
It's
So
one of your favorites, right?
yeah, I love it. Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game. So
Yep.
you know, I just think that when it comes to
We need
really
those
interesting,
remasters, Luca.
I agree. Yes, I would prefer a remake though, but we're not.
Oh,
gonna
well,
do that.
yeah, of course, yeah. We need a complete overhaul of Mass Effect 1's combat and things like
the
that.
combat for Mass Effect 1 is pretty fucking bad.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brutal to get through on console at least. I don't know how it is in PC, but it's brutal. So but yeah, I would love a remaster of that series. It's such a phenomenal series, and it's like to people who haven't played it before, that series is timeless. Go back and play it. Like that and Dragon Age as well.
Mhm.
Oh, Dragon Age is good. I love
Like
Dragon Age.
phenomenal, you know? So I just think that if it's a good game, it doesn't really matter when someone plays it. You know, they should go out if they're interested in it, they should go play. And I think announcement like this does everything to revitalize a series. You know, I saw people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go replay Hellblade. Like that's dope. I'm gonna go replay it." Like that's mostly what I saw. I didn't see anyone new saying it. Not that
And
I'm saying that no one new has said it just
I
because
mean,
I
even
haven't
if they
seen it,
did, who
but,
gives a
you know.
shit, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
people,
and it's presented super different. Like great, like Halo, that trailer for Hellblade 2 is like aggressive. It's freaking loud. The music's killing it. Like there's a
when the
mountain
trailer ended, I
freaking-
looked up and I was wearing a fucking black like hood, and like I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, like it was freaking awesome. It's a lot different tone than the first one, right? Like the first one seemed like very like calm and story driven, and then kind of like you know a lot of mental
Isolated.
stuff, like
Yeah.
isolated. This one was just like they're freaking yelling. You're like, dude, hell yeah, let's
And
fucking.
Zucker knew every word. Zucker knew every word she was saying. He's like, I understand that.
Yeah, Malaka.
She's saying she likes flowers.
Adam
So, hey,
Opentree
Home
in
Theater
the
Man says,
go ahead.
what engine is Hellblade running on?
It's running on the
Good
fucking who knows engine.
Super high end PC. That's
Hellblade
50,000.
Senua's Sacrifice is running on Unreal Engine 4, I think.
Yeah, the first
Really?
one's running on Unreal Engine 4. Yeah.
So we could only guess at this point. We don't know.
Tim said,
But you were
"Huh?"
going to read a super chat. Sorry, that's
I bet
my
you
fault.
it is. I bet you it's still Unreal Engine 4. Adam Opentree in the super chat says, "Hey, speaking about new games, basically Compulsion are starting to be more active online, and Double Fine maybe hinting towards a new game. Yeah, new games announcement as well. So you're right. Some of those other studios are kind of peeking their head up a little bit. Ori also is for pre-order now. I think that's confirmed for March now. Ori in the middle.
$30.
You could. I got a notification. I could pre-download fucking Gears Tactics.
Yep, I did too. On
I got
Game
that,
Pass.
and I was like, why would you do that to me? You're like 4 months out, asshole.
Like on PC,
That is-
I guess. Yeah.
Isn't that so weird?
Yeah, PC, Xbox.
I
and
wish I could just. I mean, I know it control better on PC especially with the type of game, but I would rather play it on Xbox.
Hazardor's a huge. He's awesome. He's a great supporter and just a hilarious
really
dude.
funny.
He said, my cousin and I were watching the Hellblade 2 trailer at 3 a.m. and afterwards he told me to turn on the light.
Anyway, I want to skip towards Phil Spencer. Just kind of wrap everything up here because it's been we've done our time for tonight. We want to thank everyone who came out. Over 1,500 people watching live. We do appreciate what you guys do a lot. You guys are awesome. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Maybe share this out. Tell a buddy. Also, thanks to Luca for dropping by for a topic or two. One of my best buddies.
Yes.
Again, I'm saying too much, so I'm gonna fucking hurry the fuck up. Phil Spencer saying that Phil Spencer saying that he's got the Xbox One Series X at home right now, and he laid it. He's got it upside down as well. If you put it upside down, he said it actually takes off. It's like a little jet motor on the
There's a picture
bottom.
of Phil with the Xbox Series X. that like went viral on social media.
Oh my god, the commando
that
one.
picture of him with the
The
bazooka.
commando.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is so well done. And Dealer and I are like we do some crazy stuff when we can on Photoshop, but that was some next level like perfection. How they had his face like
Good job, Tim
greased
Dog.
and everything.
Yeah.
He
I'm a
did that on
liar.
his phone.
I'm a liar, they said.
Who's the
Fake
liar?
Forge.
Wait, I
No,
gotta
fake.
say this because I mean this would have been great last week too, but the big narrative. Oh, we were talking about this last night, Tim. Remember the big narrative last week was Xbox is coming in hot. They're not ready. There's no dev kits, and then it turns out Phil Spencer's like, oh, I got mine. It's at home, and then boom, they put out the trailer after the Game Awards. So
there's always a
during the Game
narrative, right? And then
Oh, yeah.
Microsoft, I've noticed this, and I've talked to somebody behind the scenes that works at Microsoft about this. I said, oh, good job waiting on the day after they make up this stupid fucking narrative to just smack the shit out of them with this trailer. And, you know, they've been doing this. I don't know if people have noticed, but they've done this several times. Like, they've done it several times.
They're like
Well,
waiting
you know,
for them
this
to
year
put
they have.
some bullshit out there. They're like, all right, release the Kraken.
All right, there's enough
Fuck.
bullshit. Release it. We'll smack the shit out of 8,000 trolls.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
they
What,
did
what are
that
they
with
saying
the
you're lying
Kinect
about,
camera.
Tim? What are they saying you're lying about?
Well, no, Fake Forge, who created that picture, I saw it on Rand's. I didn't know it, and it also had his trademark on the picture.
Yeah,
I
I
had
followed
said,
him.
I had said to Phil, and I showed him the thing on the Twitter. I said, you see this, Phil? And then he, the Fake Forge guy, was like, you know, he takes my profile, Xbox Live, beta tester, you know, a couple of my things that it attributes to myself, and then he goes liar. And then I quoted him and I said, first off, I had no idea where the origination of the picture came. Second off, you have a water, you know, put your name on it if that's the case. But yeah, he was upset that I
Liar,
used it.
what did you do? You said,
I don't
Tim
understand.
Dog made this
'Cause
myself.
I used the picture, and he said that I was or he was inferring that I was making it like it was mine.
Well, you
Like,
didn't say that, so no. I mean, he can look at, yeah, whatever.
No, I called him out on it. A lot of people were saying, well,
I know for a fact when Tim says something, he means it. Like when he says when we hit 1,300 subscribers or watchers, he's doing Xbox Series X.
No, I mean, listen, the bottom line was that with that whole thing, it was just stupid, you know. But you know, I never take somebody's picture and without somebody's consent. I always try to give.
Nobody else jumped to that conclusion, though, Tim. That was irrational
Yeah.
thinking on his part. So
Yeah,
I don't know the guy, whatever, but I would
that
never
was
say
sad.
Tim put up a picture. He must have invented it.
Right. Well, he was mad probably because the picture that I had, so he had sent it to Phil too, and his tweet got like 300 likes. Mine got like something like 1,700.
Well,
It was
yeah,
like really,
that can be
and I
expected, though.
guess, you know, but whatever. I mean, he had 50,000 followers, but whatever the case was, it's just what mine took off and his didn't, and he took it to heart. But
No,
I,
I'm not
like,
saying that, you know, I'm
giggling
not
in the
saying that his
background.
50K aren't real, but I do notice a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of motherfuckers, man, 40, 50,000 followers, they got 2 or 3 likes on a post. I'm like, that's not real. That's not real. That's not. Why ain't motherfuckers liking your shit? Why are they following you and not liking your stuff?
right.
So, you know.
Well, Luca, what are you laughing about over there?
You know why I'm laughing. I mean, I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, oh, 50,000 followers, 300 likes. Interesting. Oh, and Tim's blew up and his didn't. Interesting. Huh? Okay, interesting.
I don't know. I'm not saying that they're not real because I don't know the guy, but I'm just saying I've noticed a lot of people on Twitter that just have numbers mean your fucking sub count, your follower count means shit if you have no one that cares about what you're saying, right? And if you have no one that cares about what you're saying, then you must be saying shit that don't matter. That's what I'm guessing.
That's what I said about D-Batch. Like he had a couple people trying to write his case about the one thing he ever got wrong on a prediction, which is like, who cares about getting a prediction wrong? But like I was trying to explain, like it's so cool. Like D-Batch he's got an audience of 20,000 people a week because of this podcast and all the people that come and listen, which it's just great. And you guys are really great to come here because you take you have some respect for what we have to say and you want to hear it. So I think it's really cool. And
Well, you're not
and,
out
you know,
to spin a bullshit narrative based off of out of context things either.
Exactly.
Philly
I know.
Eagle says great show, by the way. Happy holidays. Thank you so much, Philly.
And also too, we interact. Well, you guys do, but we interact with the fans, Twitter, even the detractors. and
Yep.
we hear their point of their point of view, and we come with our counters and whatnot, and these guys, they come with nothing. Like I had somebody yesterday, I'm talking about variable rate shading, and watch that video, whatever, on my channel. So I'm talking about variable rate shading. This guy goes, "Oh, but say hello to HDMI 2.1 specification." I'm like, "Yo, variable
has nothing to do with anything."
You're talking about VRR.
Yeah, it's like they're two
But Xbox said they're not going to have VRR because they don't want people to wear headsets. I'm like, no, that's not VRR either.
Like we're talking two separate things. You don't even know what you're talking about, yet you're telling me.
We'll
I'm
say
not
hello to
qualified
HDMI
to talk about
1.4, bitch.
Oh, it's like it's ridiculous. Like I don't know, man. Gamers are just losing their mind. If Microsoft says something, it's a lie, and no, it can't be believed. And if a report came out tomorrow that like what came out from Dealer and Windows Central about the PlayStation, let's say 13 teraflops, the PlayStation 5 having 13 teraflops. You'd hear all these guys say the PlayStation 5 is 13 teraflops. It's over.
And there would be nobody talking that shit.
They wouldn't bat an eyelash. Like it would be fact. Like, come on.
Guillermo, the legend, Cavillo says, "Fuck the trolls, D. Good video and great show tonight." Thank you so much, Guillermo. Guillermo's like fucking day one listener, man. But again, Phil Spencer, he's got his Xbox refrigerator edition at home, getting ice and shit out of it right now, and we are looking forward to getting ours next holiday. It will be here before you know it. Shout out to the almost 1,400 sitting here during all the bullshit banter. Thank you for what you do. Again, hit that like button, share it out, help us out a little bit. Check out the show when it renders and post to the channel. Leave a comment. We need to start kind of engaging a little bit more there. It's like after the show's over, I'm dead. Like I want to die even more. So I'm like, the comments is not the first thing I do. And sometimes it gets away from me. I'll admit it. So I need to do better there. But again, thanks to Luca.
Ass, dude. Come on.
Thanks to Luca for coming out and helping us out and kind of giving her take on some things.
Yeah, thanks for saying something. Like my phone was literally sitting next to me updating. I'm like, la-di-da. You're like, Luca, can you answer your phone?
Answer your phone. Oh, okay. Answer your phone, Luca. But yeah, let's start with Luca. Let's do some outros. And again, shout out to all my patrons and stuff, guys. I'm gonna have content ramping up here in the next several days, I would imagine, man. Like Monday, maybe I'll get a video out Thursday. I'm pretty good at hiding stuff when I'm sick a little bit sometimes. Not right now, but I will have stuff ramping up. I'm trying, Colt. I'm trying just to live right now, okay? And now my girl's got her sister over here for a few days, so I'm like fucking this company, and it's awkward, man. So I'm just trying to do me. I want Luca, tell everyone where you could find you on Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. Fantastic show, Scumcast, and all that. Let them know.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, where I will be minding my business and not getting into back and forth with anyone, because I am a
any
nice
weirdos
person.
in trench coats or any fuck faces in trench coats.
Anything like that. I don't do any of that stuff. And you guys can find me on YouTube, also at the Ash and Luca, where I do a show called Scumcast every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'm a big fan of the fact that there's a time now.
I know, what a shock, right?
Just,
but yeah, it's actually it's really even things out, and the views have gotten more consistent, and people like the panel. Well, if they show up, whatever. But whatever. Okay, anyway,
I told you you need to take some raid to it and figure out who the fuck's legit.
I know. All right. Yes, but thanks for having me, and shout out to the chat and the 1,500 people who were watching. That's amazing. You guys are doing so well.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Shady as well, who's in the chat. Shout out to you, buddy, who wished me get better when I kind of posted that I had malaria. But again, Cold Eastwood, what have you been playing, Luca? Never mind. I know you're playing shit. Cold Eastwood, where you been?
Jesus.
Where can people find you, and what have you been playing, brother?
You can find me at Cold Eastwood at YouTube and Twitter. And yeah, you can message me there whenever, and I answer those. I've been playing Halo Reach. And I've gone back to replay Witcher 3, which is crazy. And yeah,
Not that crazy. It's amazing.
It is. It's amazing. I mean, that game just looks and feels so much better on the X.
You see Mike's post. What's the game of the generation? I said Witcher 3 or God of War 2018. Those are, I couldn't choose between the two. They're both amazing.
Yeah, they are pretty good. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just excited. I'm glad that Microsoft stepped up and showed this console. And it's just been really exciting. So, and hey, Dealer, thanks for having the show this week, because we were dying without you and having the show and not being able to do this. So
We built
Thanks
a
for
great
calling.
community of people, man. And again,
Yep.
we got to shout out to everyone. ASQD, A Squad in the chat says, great show, guys. Glad you got to see me. Glad you got to see me in chat. Yeah, A Squad. Go back to making the best Ghost Recon and Call of Duty videos, man. We've had enough of it.
His channel's just moving.
Yeah,
Good job,
it is.
man.
He's moving. He's smoking.
Well, it's crazy. I mean, he's mostly covering 2 major games is what I've seen on most of his content lately. And his channel's just cruising.
Yeah. It's
It's awesome.
Boom, 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 boom. Videos.
gotta feel good.
Yeah, he's putting out a lot of videos. It's good stuff, man. Guillermo says also, I didn't say it at the beginning of the show, but shout out to all the panel and listening and playing Modern Warfare and Feel Better Dealer. I'm gonna try, man. See, I can barely even read right now, so that tells you where I'm at right now. Do appreciate it, brother. Also, we've got one from Gamer by Choice. Shout out to you, man. He says, great show, everyone. Xbox future looks bright. Yes, we've said it over and over. It certainly does, but no, let's fearmonger and say Gears of War 5 is 4 hours long. Hey, D-Batch, what have you been playing, brother? Where can people find you?
I've been playing Jedi Fallen Order, and I love that game. It's my type of game. I want to get all the secrets in that game, so there's a lot of backtracking in it, but I'm enjoying a minute of it. You can find me at Twitter at D_batch, and of course on YouTube at DBatch. Watch my latest video on VRS.
Say hello to HDMI
no.
1.0, bitch.
It was a great show. It's good to be back, man. What a time to be a gamer. The next generation console from Microsoft looks fantastic. I'm thankful for all the news that we're getting, and I can't wait to actually get the news on Sony's system. It's going to be a great year for gaming. I'm excited, man.
Yeah. Awesome. Be sure and follow D-Batch and Colt for sure. Don't follow Zalker, but Zalker's going to tell you where you can follow him anyway.
Whoa, hey, what the fuck?
I'm kidding. Zalker, where have you been playing, bud? I know it's nothing. And of course, where can people find you?
Where you cannot follow me is at Zalker87 on Twitter, and
You want to give out
Zalker87
any
on
fake
YouTube.
PlayStation Network names for idiots to look up?
My PSN, just in case you guys are wondering, where I fraud out at is Zalker187. Somebody took my 87, so
They're like, he's not even played
Fuck
one game. As a matter of fact, his account doesn't even exist.
yeah, I'm like, all right, man, whatever. I don't care, whatever. People are stupid. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me. And I've been playing a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, but I haven't played a game in like 5-6 days, dude. Like I literally have been doing so much shit, like helping family move, just a lot of stuff. Like I haven't been home at all, and it's just kind of sucked. Like I just want to relax and I can't wait for the holidays where I just don't do anything. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. And chat, we all love you. Like honestly, you guys power this shit. All of you guys came out 1,500. Dealer, don't take another week off, or we're gonna beat the shit out of you. Sounds great.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, right? Hey,
Hell yeah, dude.
CJ Miller, $10, man. Thanks. He says for having good sources. Thank you very much. A lot of people recognize some real shit that day I dropped that video, and Windows Central said the same shit an hour later. Tell you what, people do notice. It seems pointless, Tim Dog, but sometimes it's not. Tim Dog, what have you been playing, brother? Where can people find you?
I've been playing. I finished Outer Worlds. I love that game. I kind of finished that in an odd way. That game. If you haven't heard, I toast put it. I basically powered up my character, and then I just went on a killing spree. And it actually, I got through the game. I just basically got fed up. I think Gladdy pissed me off, and I don't know, and I just started killing people like a mass murderer.
He's like, welcome to this town, headshot.
Everyone was after me, but I really enjoyed that, and I'm going to start a Jedi game.
It's so good, dude. Wait till you start that game.
Yeah, I'm really, because I'm a big Star Wars fan. Plus, that movie's coming out this week, which I think what does it come out? Friday?
Friday.
Yep.
I don't know.
Friday,
It's just
so-
another day they're gonna ruin Star Wars again.
I really hope it's good.
I'm hearing good things about it, man.
I heard good things
Yeah.
about Last Jedi, and then everyone that said
Yeah.
that disappeared. Matter of fact, there's people that were damage control in the first movies that are now saying that the franchise is ruined.
Yeah, I know. Also you can find me on Twitter, xCloud Tim Dog. I'm also here every Tuesday, 8:00 sharp, Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Luca, for showing up. You're always a pleasure. It was a pleasure to hear from you.
It's always good to talk to you, Tim.
Always good to talk to you. 1,500 people, over 1,500. Just thank you for the support. That's really crazy number, and now I owe Colt Xbox Series Lockhart.
He changed it up on you.
Lockhart. Oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, the Lockhart doesn't exist. Remember, Tim?
Yeah, the
It's not
digital-
even. It's not real. But for some reason, everything's lining right up, and you still don't see it. Hey, I've been playing Trover Saves the Universe, and so is Colton. He didn't tell you, so he's a fraud.
Yeah, I forgot. I've been playing. That gets me laughing pretty good.
Yeah, it's from the guys who made Rick and Morty, or Justin
Yeah,
Brolin, I should say. Just fucking
Freaking-
stupid,
that's
funny
hilarious.
comedy, and it's a VR game that sadly, as of right now, we don't get to experience it that way, but it is very playable on controller. They've done a great job remapping everything for the non-VR experience, and it's really the comedy that you're there for, which is just a lot of fun to play. You can follow me here on YouTube, Dealer Gaming YouTube. You can hit that bell icon to get notifications for all the videos. I only do a few weeks, so you won't get spammed, anything like that. Of course, you can subscribe. That also helps. If you want to become a channel member, hit that join button. You'll support content like this. There's a Patreon link down below to do giveaways and more every single month. I'll be ramping production back up here over the next couple days, 3-4 days. I need to recover and just want to live again. That might help me. And there's plenty of stuff for me to talk about. So it's a hell of a time to kind of come down with malaria. Again, thank you for what you guys do. Twitter at dealer_gaming. Be sure and follow all these fine people. Thanks for supporting the show. Tell a buddy. You already make us the biggest Xbox podcast on all of YouTube. Given that YouTube's like the second biggest website in the world, we're kind of doing something here. And it's all thanks to you guys. Again, we do appreciate it. We are gonna go fucking die.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.